It's the best day to shop after Thanksgiving, but these fans, they don't want any part of shopping. They want to watch some football. We're in Oxford, Ohio, live from Yager Stadium. It's one of the oldest rivalries in the MAC Conference. Ohio and Miami have been playing since 1928. And today is the Bobcats' best chance in recent memory to break a long losing streak to the Red Hawks. Hi, everybody. I'm Doug Bell alongside Charles Arbuckle. Happy Maxgiving to you wherever you're watching. It is a gorgeous day for football. And when you think about Ohio, what a season they've had. Calvin McRae, their talented tailback, is on the verge of another 1,000-yard season. They run the football very well, Charles.
Well, when he gets 100 yards, Doug, they are 7-0. So they love to have the ball in his hands, and he's got great vision, got great ability to cut with the football. He's also the leading receiver, which isn't saying much for Ohio, but still, this guy is excellent. He does a great job whenever the ball is in his hands.
Frank Solich says he doesn't run the Nebraska offense anymore, but it looks a lot like it. Let's talk Miami of Ohio. It's been a disappointing season, except for their wide receiver, Ryan Robinson. He's on the verge of breaking some serious records.
Well, he's leading the nation in receptions, but he's also 84 yards away from breaking Wes Welker's record in punt returns. When you get the ball in his hands, you can think of yak yards, you can think of anything you want to say, but this guy is Mr. Excitement with the ball in his hands.
Looking forward to today's game. A nice crowd filing in on this Friday. Ohio under Frank Solich. What a turnaround. Really one of the more remarkable turnarounds in all of college football. 4-7 a year ago. Now 8-3. They're the MAC East champion. They will be going to the MAC championship game. Frank Solich, in a short period of time, Charles, has turned things around.
Well, I think he had that understanding, and the guys, when he got here, he told them, look, we're going to win football games. And this Ohio team had done that a few years back with Jim Grove. They had gone down after that. They needed to have the winning attitude. They needed some discipline, but they also needed a little TLC, and I think Frank Solich has been all of those and above.
Frank Solich hasn't changed much, still in great physical condition. Shane Montgomery had a nice first season. This season has certainly been a disappointment, but lots of injuries have taken their toll. And as Shane told us this week, Charles, he's excited about the future. He thinks the future is very bright.
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, sometimes you have coaches that have a lot of injuries, and at this point in the season, everybody's banged up. They really haven't used that at Miami as an excuse, but I think it's very valid. Two of their best offensive linemen are gone. That's why they've given up 46 sacks this year.
The Bobcats won the toss. They'll defer, and they're kicking off. This is Dustin Woods. He's got some speed. He gets it out to the 33. Nice return for the Red Hawks. Coming in at 2-9, 2-5 in the MAC. Early in the season, preseason, they were picked to win their division. They're the defending division champs the last 3 years. Mike Kokel, the junior quarterback, has been on his back lots this season. He's been sacked 40 times, but despite that, and really learning under fire, he's had a decent season.
Learning how to be a tough guy. I think it teaches you how to have mental toughness when you get hit that much.
So Kokel will hand off to Brandon Murphy. Gets his first carry. It's been an injury-riddled year for Brandon Murphy as well. Kind of worked his way out for a nice positive gain. Let's look at the starting lineups now for the Red Hawks. DeFranco, Meister, Koski, Satterthwaite, and Sutter is your offensive line. Very beat up. Lots of replacements there. We told you about Brandon Murphy coming off an injury himself. Ryan Robinson on the verge of something big today. Corbin, O'Brien, and Crabtree are the go-to people for Miami of Ohio. So it's 2nd down and 4 after that pickup of 6. Kokel from the gun. And Brandon Murphy will line up to his left and now shifts over. It's been one of those seasons Murphy doesn't want to write home about. It's been tough. Kokel takes it himself, 1st down, and takes a host of defenders with him. Nice gain. Up front for the Bobcats, defensively they have been stout. Hartke, Cohen, Yates, the 6th-year player, got that extra year by the NCAA, and Ernie Hodge, a freshman at defensive end. At linebacker, Russ and Muncie and Graham are active, somewhat undersized, but very quick. Parson, Jackson, Mitchell, and Wright make up a beat-up secondary for Ohio, trying to get some players healthy as they head to that championship game next week. So 1st and 10 from the 49, and just like that in 2 plays, they're in Ohio territory. Kokel with lots of time. There he is, Ryan Robinson, the go-to man.
Well, early on, they've run the football. They go with Brandon Murphy, then they run the option, and that sets up Ryan Robinson working on T.J. Wright. You're going to see these two guys matched up very closely. T.J. Wright, the best cover guy for Ohio, and see Kokel waits for him to come open. Doug comes back. Ryan Robinson shows him that 2. he wants to catch all the passes, but you got to spread it around a little bit. But when you have a guy that exciting and that good, it's hard not to go to him.
So 1st and 10, and the Redhawks have looked sharp here early on. Nice crowd filing in. We were worried about that early because the stadium was empty about an hour before, but it was just a late arriving crowd after Thanksgiving. There's the lob. Oh, he caught it. On the outside is E.J. Morton Green, and he was out of bounds.
That was a nice grab by E.J. Morton Green. He was covered tightly by T.J. Wright. I'd like to see that replay because it looked like he landed in bounds when he caught it. And he goes up. T.J. Wright takes it away. Oh, yeah, he was just a little bit out of bounds on that white, but he stayed with the ball.
Yeah, nice grab, but his shoulder was on the white. So it's 2nd and 10.
Any part of your body touching that makes you out of bounds. So good effort by E.J. Morton Green.
Brandon Murphy, again at tailback, over 1,000 yards last season, just 264 coming into this one. There's his 2nd carry of the game, getting a nice hole, and then he takes a pop. Matt Muncy on the tackle there for Ohio, but so far Brandon Murphy looks pretty good.
He does. He's struggled with injuries all year. Hadn't played but a 1.5 years so far, but you see last year a lot of carries, 1,000-yard rusher. Just hadn't been healthy, and I think that's been the whole thing with Miami. And also too, Doug, their MO has been start out strong. They haven't scored a lot of touchdowns, and that's been their biggest problem as well.
It's 3rd down and 6. Only 31% 3rd down conversions this season for the Redhawks. That's down there. Here comes the blitz. Over the middle, Ryan Robinson, and that ball is batted down, incomplete. T.J. Wright on the coverage, the young man from Beaumont, Texas.
I like how he plays defense. He did that so well. The last few times, Ryan Robinson had a chance to catch a ball on him, but this one, perfect timing. But it almost looked like Miami was considering going for it on 4th down.
They were thinking about it. I mean, they have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
They're 2-9, last game of the season. But they'll punt it away. Jake Richardson is now their punter, punting into the wind. A breeze is kicked up. We're up here in the press box, even though it's going to be around 60 degrees today. Wind is keeping it kind of cool. And Richardson tries to pooch it, and he does a nice job, but all right, he did down it. I thought maybe a foot was in the end zone.
I thought so too.
So Ohio will start from the 1-yard line. Great punt by Richardson. Watch it one more time.
Let's look at his left foot. He actually goes over and spots it like, no, he's not in there.
Yeah, that was Jeff Thompson, and he got a little help from his friend there, huh? All right, Brad Bauer gets the start today for Ohio. Austin Everson, who's had a nice season, high ankle sprain, tried to go before the game and just didn't look sharp out there, so they'll save him for the MAC championship. Charles, there's your guy, Calvin McRae, coming out of the end zone. He runs hard. He's strong, stout kid. We saw him earlier.
He really is, and I think the best thing for him, he's gotten better as a pass pro. Here you can see Everson. Austin Everson is their leader, senior leader. He's been around a long time, and they like him because he's got the ability to run the football and pass. But what you have in Bauer is a guy that played at Illinois. He's a transfer there, played 4 games, so has some college experience.
Yeah, he was under the old regime. When Ron Zook came in, he transferred to Ohio to play with Frank Solich. And again, it's to the ground. Not a surprise. McRae breaks that first tackle, then falls forward.
Well, you're going to see a lot of Joey Card, number 1. He's nosy. We talk about those defensive backs that come up and really try to fire in.
The Bobcats up front, Matt Coppage, their best lineman, although he has a shoulder problem when it's dicey at times. J.J. Knapp has been very good at center as well. And the Bobcats, again, a 3-to-1 run-to-pass ratio. McRae is the man. Morcillo, a devastating blocker at fullback. And the rest of the receivers, they won't get many thrown to him today. It's 3rd down for the Bobcats. There's the first pass, Bauer to the outside, and just like that, it's a first down. That's William Norwood on the receiving end. That looked pretty good. Bauer showed a nice arm. As you look at Miami on defense, Trenae Sills leads this team with 4 sacks up front, very active. Linwood, Painter, and Caniglio. You see a young defensive line. Dante Wright, the senior linebacker, although Joey Hudson has been remarkable. 5 interceptions for Hudson, and that's up there in the NCAA rankings. Gaines, Wilson, Card, and Wewo are your secondary. And again, a banged-up defense for the Red Hawks. So it's 1st and 10. Brad Bauer's first pass looks sharp, and the reverse goes nowhere.
Great defensive play by Seth Painter. The only thing that stops reverses and everything else are penetration. And you can see that that's one of the reasons why Trenae Sills and Seth Painter coming from the top part of your screen on the left. And you can see both of them, both defensive linemen getting in, doing an excellent job on Garrett, who on the other side, Chris Garrett is a great return guy for Ohio, and he's good in open field. But that's a nice play.
That was a 5-yard loss, 2nd and 15 now. During that 6-game winning streak, the Bobcats have enjoyed. Check that out. 43 rushes, only 16 passes. Hey, that reminds me of Nebraska. Huh?
And he tried to talk us out of that. Frank Solich did.
Bauer setting up the screen to his fullback, Mitch Morcillo. I mean, that crossed everybody up. That surprised me. Morcillo's not a weapon. He's a blocker.
He's got 2 receptions on the year. And what does it bring you back to? Frank Solich is a fullback in his former life. He played that at Nebraska. So what do they do? Fake one way. And what does it do with the defense? Move them everybody over. The only guy out there is Jared Gaines. Doesn't have a chance. Morcillo looked good on that reception.
There's Frank Solich, a little gray on the sideburns, but other than that, Frank Solich hasn't changed much. Still in great physical shape. And I think that the team takes on the personality of the coach.
He harkened back to Tom Rathman. Remember we asked him about that on the conference call. He got excited and talking about fullback.
Yeah.
Roger Craig.
Sure. Tom Rathman, man, what a bruiser he was. And wide open is the tight end, Rudy Sylvan, and another 1st down.
Shown some versatility, Doug, in this offense. I mean, I've liked Rudy Sylvan. They think is a guy that has pro potential, but more so maybe as a guard in the league. He's a big tight end, maybe an extra blocker, how teams are using him, but he's active enough and athletic enough to get outside. And I like what Bauer did. He waited, he hesitated just enough to get out of the grass there, Craig Mester, and then get around and created some time for himself.
Everson has taken most of the snaps this year. As you look at Sylvan's numbers, he's quietly put together a very effective season. But Bauer is mobile. He's a smart kid. D1 experience at Illinois. Not a bad guy to have as a backup. Everson again. Frank Solich described him as a leader. I mean, he's the guy the team looks up to. That's why he tried to go today.
Yeah.
Even though obviously he was hobbling, he tried to play.
Well, they haven't beat Miami in so long that I think this game is more important to them than the MAC championship game right now. And I think that's what Frank Solich said. We're going to take one game at a time. We're going to work with the guys that we have. But Brad Bauer has come in and shown why the coaching staff likes him, makes good decisions, has had real good command of this offense.
Yeah, the wristband on Bauer, those were his numbers with the Fighting Illini. That is an extensive wristband. I mean, he's got a lot of words on that one. This time, Calvin McRae runs into the teeth of that defense. Seth Painter's been active, makes another stop.
He really has. And the defensive line for Miami has struggled this year, but they're playing very well. They don't have great numbers, but Seth Painter was kind of leading that defensive line with 30 tackles coming into today's game. And what he does is Tarver Johnson, the defensive coordinator, wants to move them around and make them unhittable, so to speak. So they line up one place, stem to another place, and it messes up the offensive linemen because they're thinking, I got him here. Then they have to redirect and move.
Yeah, Painter is a character, too. Shaves the guy's heads in some weird mohawk at the beginning of the year.
Calls it the anchor.
Yeah. It's 3rd down now. Bauer's looked good so far, and that was almost intercepted. It is on the deflection. Red Hawks going the opposite way. That's Joey Card, his 2nd pick of the season, and he runs out of bounds at the 27, playing center field.
Yeah, that was a nice play. And I think what made it even better is that Miami got their guys in position and knocked that away. We talked about Ohio not being a great passing team, and when they struggled early in the year, lost 3 in a row, this is the reason why. Giving the ball away.
Well, so far, things are looking good for the Red Hawks. Only 2-9, but right now they're deep in Bobcats territory. ESPNU College Football is presented by Remington Titanium Shavers.
Feature stories and more, and is available for only $5.
It is a sun-blanketed Yager Stadium. There you see Brad Bauer talking it over with Austin Everson. Bauer gets the start today. Everson out with a high ankle sprain. And Bauer looked good until that interception. That was not a good pass. Mike Kokel and company now with great field position on the 27. Kokel with time and bounces that one, looking for Robinson on the outside.
You know, these defensive backs have done a very good job of running with Miami. Miami likes to go up top sometimes. They like to do some of those things, but the defensive backs, both T.J. Wright and Mark Parson, have been playing in the guys' hip pockets, so to speak, running with them wherever they are, really not allowing them to get any room. So you look like you're going to have to go to some kind of routes where you're running away from the defender as opposed to just coming back in those zone-type routes.
Yeah, the Bobcats, the top scoring defense in the MAC, allowing just over 15 points a game. Jimmy Burrow, with a Nebraska connection like many of these coaches, has really done a nice job. And talk about a turnaround defensively. There's Robinson again. I mean, he's the go-to guy, literally. And he gets pushed backwards. That's T.J. Wright on the stop.
Great pursuit by the defense, though. I mean, they're bringing Matt Muncie's the first guy there. You know, Matt Muncie came in as a 200-pound running back linebacker in high school, and he's put on 40 pounds, and he packs a wallop. I mean, he comes up. He doesn't make the tackle initially. T.J. Wright, along with the rest of his buddies, all come up, and that's what you have to do against a Ryan Robinson. You got to make him think there's about 15 guys that are going to hit him only when it's 3 or 4.
So it's 3rd and 9, and you see Matt Muncie, the middle linebacker, has put up big numbers. Another one of those guys that has really elevated his game, has gotten stronger with this entire Ohio football team. Kokel with time to the outside, has his man, R.J. Corbin.
Nice blitz pickup, too. They were coming with the blitz. They had Irvin Jackson, who could not quite get there, and it was full man coverage. But R.J. Corbin does a great job. Kokel doesn't, look, he's not going to panic. Watch 7 White coming into your picture, and Brandon Murphy with just enough room to get over there. Also, Steve Sutter doing a good job on the right side. Josh Shotaway. That's why Kokel's been hit so much, Doug, but I think it doesn't bother him when he sees the pressure coming.
Yeah, he's not worried. He has bumps and bruises all over his body. He is sore. But you get the adrenaline flowing on a day like today, day after Thanksgiving, playing your rivals. There's the handoff to Brandon Murphy, and I think he's a kid who's jacked up today because he's been hurt all year.
Well, and if you look at field position already, Miami's winning the battle there. So they have to come away with points, which has been their problem. And if you look at Ohio, they've done a great job of not allowing people to score. 1st in the MAC, 17th in the nation, only allowing 15.5 points per game.
Shane Montgomery, second-year head coach. There you see the man behind the shades. He's also his own offensive coordinator. Kokel's had some bright moments, and Montgomery admits that he's put a lot of pressure on him, and he didn't intend to do that. Kokel, 3 steps, fires it to the outside, and overshoots Dustin Woods.
Tell you who I like already. Brandon Murphy took on Tyler Russ on a zone dog. Brandon Murphy's only 5'8", but he leveled the 6'1" Tyler Russ at 221. He just does a great job of getting in there and fighting. You don't always see this, but I just want to highlight a smaller guy, 24. Watch 24 red. Bam! He gets under him. He gets his feet going. Oh, that gets you going, because linebackers are just mean, nasty dogs. They come at you like, ooh. And when you see a little running back do that, that's a great play by Brandon Murphy.
He took a shot, Charles.
Yeah, he did.
I hope he's okay. He's got some cobwebs. Kokel fires it over the middle, and talk about another shot. That was caught by Sean McVay.
McVay took the shot from Muncie. Every time you go across the middle, they know where 50 is. I mean, when you play the game and you watch film, 5-0 just shows up. We talk about linebackers coming. He's just gotten so much better at playing that middle linebacker position.
So Trevor Cook, the freshman from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, on for the field goal. It'll be a 23-yarder. He's 9 out of 12 this season. And make it 10 out of 13. Trevor Cook drew it in there. And the Red Hawks on top 3-0, taking advantage of that turnover. Red Hawks trying for their 3rd win of the season. It feels so good if they can do it against the Bobcats. All right, Mike, thank you. I called Northern Illinois last week when they stunned Western Michigan. and they could be 7-5. Maybe they're going bowling. Who knows?
You know, the other thing about Northern, I think they used Garrett Wolf so much early in the season that now he's getting healthy, but they're also diversified their offense a little bit more.
Hey, Nathan Parsegian will kick off for Miami of Ohio. And, of course, he is the great-grandnephew of the Hall of Famer Era Parsegian. And a short kick. Scott Mail fields it and looks for that wedge. Breaks a tackle himself. Hard running. And he gets it up to the 44-yard line. Nice return by Scott Mail.
Extremely fast receiver, but he's also gotten a lot stronger, as all of these guys here at Ohio have. I mean, just great blocking up front. They open up a wedge, and he works one way and then comes back. And you can see just the power that Scott Mail has. Very good speed. He's a 4'4" guy legitimately, but he also has some strength in that body of his now.
So it's the second go-around for Brad Bauer. He looked sharp early and then threw that interception, which resulted in the field goal. And again, credit the Bobcats defense for holding down Miami. Bauer, a junior, and looking and throwing, and has his man flagged down on the play. That was Noah Kocha grabbing it, but it's going to come back.
The line judge looked like he was saying he was out of bounds even if he had called it. But it looks like it's going to go against Miami.
Bauer is pointing at the Red Hawks defense. And yes, holding against Miami.
One of the things when you're losing games or you're struggling, these are the kind of plays that you make. And Miami has done that this year.
Illegal use of the hand on the defense, pushing it back. It's 10-yard penalty. First down.
You see our referee in the short sleeves. I mean, this time of year in Central Ohio to be 60 degrees. I mean, this is
great weather.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, it is. Clear blue skies. I mean, you can just see for miles and miles away. Great football weather.
Oh, no doubt. Of course, the big story in this state, Ohio State, the Buckeyes. There you see the temperature. I'd say let's go play some golf after this game, right, Charles? Come on. Let's tee it up. There's some great golf courses in this state. And Bauer right up the gut, showing some speed. It's a foot race to the end zone. It is a fumble. It's fumbled in the end zone. It's recovered by the Red Hawks.
Great job by Robbie Wilson of hustling down the field and knocking the ball out. But it all goes back to what I said earlier. With all the misdirection and open movement that they do at Ohio, it gives you an opportunity to have big plays like this. And you're going to watch on the replay, Doug, everybody moves over. They're playing Joey Card #1 up tight, and then the other defensive back, the safety right there, Robbie Wilson. Watch this play, folks. Great hustle. If you're a young kid at home, don't ever give up on plays, because this is what can happen. Boom, forced fumble, fumble recovery, and you turn the other way. Great effort by Robbie Wilson.
I'm going to vote that for one of the top plays of the day on SportsCenter and SportsCenter U.
Wow,
I mean,
that was outstanding.
That really was.
The sophomore out of Cincinnati, Ohio, with an excellent play.
So it's 1st and 10. Kokel throwing it up for grabs. That could be picked off. Oh, it should have been picked off, but it falls incomplete.
Hit him in the best spot, his hand.
Boy, that was right down the middle, and it should have been picked off. But check out Kokel. Look at that.
Now Kokel takes a shot.
Jamison Harkey. Wow. Oh. He was slow to get up from that one. And we mentioned there you see Harkey, a sophomore, 4.5 sacks on the season. Kokel has been sacked. This was not a sack, but he's been sacked 40 times.
So that means he's been hit probably about 60 times or more this year. Yeah, you know, quarterback hurries, pressures, option runs that he has. I mean, he's been hit a lot this year.
So it's 2nd and 10, and he decides to hand off to Brandon Murphy.
That's a huge changing play, though, going back to that forced fumble and recovery in the end zone, because Bauer had a great open lane, and then they don't score at all. They don't come away with any points.
We're live in Oxford, Ohio. It's Yager Stadium, home of the Red Hawks of Miami. Doug Bell along with Charles Arbuckle on a gorgeous day. Ohio wearing their road white, the Red Hawks in their home red. And you see Mike Kokel, the junior quarterback who's been running for his life most of the season. Injuries in the offensive line have plagued the Red Hawks. Kokel has his man, Andre Bratton, out of the backfield, stretches for that first down marker. Let's go to ESPNU with Mike Gleason.
Kokel's pass is complete to number 22, Andre Bratton. Pick up the 8 yards, 4th down.
Wow.
All right, that extra point could come back to haunt him.
Oh, man.
You know it.
Yeah, playing in Austin.
Yeah, that would be big for Coach Fran as he tries to bounce back. I mean, this was a pivotal year for him to beat Texas. Whoa, that would be big. Short punt. It's fielded by Chris Garrett, who gets it up to the 40. So field position has not been a problem for Ohio. The Bobcats will try to turn things around after that fumble in the end zone killed the last drive. The Bobcats, their 3rd possession. Brad Bauer at quarterback. Looking for some room and finding some is Calvin McRae. Good push on that right side.
Yeah, and Calvin McRae also has a knack for just cutting at the right time. He even cut around us when we were on the field earlier.
Yes,
said, excuse me, and just kept moving. But watch the footwork by Calvin McRae, but also the blocking up front. They do a very good job of moving one cut, 2 cuts. And then when he decides to take off, he can. I mean, he just has an uncanny ability. He played basketball. You can tell his basketball skills comes out when he's running the football.
Yeah, that was a 9-yard pickup, and he gets tripped up. I think he got enough for the first down.
One thing Frank Solich said about this offensive line is that they were much maligned. They weren't really able to move the ball. They weren't as big as he wanted them to be, and they've really worked on that. But also, a lot of these guys now stay around the whole year. They had 90 kids stay around in the offseason, about 99%. That really helps, especially your offensive linemen.
1st and 10 there. You see the Bobcats' first 5 games held down. The last 6 games they have put it together running the football. McRae goes to the right side, busts the tackle. He's got nothing but green turf in front of him, and he stretches, and he will be short of the goal line. He thought he got in.
Frank Weewo was there to knock him out. But I'll tell you why Calvin McRae was able to make this run. Because he's able to split defenders. We talked about it earlier. Watch how he goes between 2 defenders. They're going to both miss him right there. Jared Gaines actually has a chance. He's a boundary corner, your best tackler on the corner position, but he just whips. Great job by Weewo. Watch, he just did a right bomb. Whoop, gone. Good blocking inside. Scott Mail has a nice block.
Charles, this is under review because he stretched, and I think he.
I thought he got over.
I think he got over the pylon. Yeah.
I thought he did also.
They're going to review it. That first angle that we had, Weewo pushed him, but then he glided almost like Superman over the pylon. Watch this.
Going to go airborne right there, and it looks like he breaks the plane. I think that's a touchdown.
So they'll check that. And again, this is a great angle too. Now watch this. Here comes Weewo, but then watch him stretch and fly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's 6. It's so hard to tell, and these are the looks that they're going to get in the booth as well, but it looks like he's able to get there, and as long as you're able to get that ball inside that pylon, which he does, then he goes out after that. He breaks that plane, and the plane is to infinity and beyond. So that was like Buzz Lightyear flying. You're like a little kid, you know that.
I'm with you. You know, they're looking at the same replays we are in the booth. Is that irrefutable? I mean, tell me, Charles, is that
I like
definite?
that look because he stays in right there. But the impressive part to that run is not even the end, because that's just an exclamation point. It's the running ability of Calvin McRae. There's 4 or 5 defenders, and he makes a decisive cut. Jared Gaines has a chance to make a tackle, and he just completely whiffs on it.
Don Amicon is checking with the replay booth, and here's one more look, and I think that is indisputable. To me, anyway.
It's awful close. I would say touchdown. Right there. Yeah.
And I think that's what they're trying to decide. I mean, is that irrefutable evidence? And now Don's getting a little help. He said, listen, I can't figure it out. You try. That's John Hayes, the side judge, helping him out.
Looks like he gets it inside the pylon and then goes.
Your Miami 1 card has arrived.
Again, the replay booth looking at the same replays you're watching at home.
Looks like indisputable video evidence to me on that one.
Calvin McRae trying for his 13th rushing touchdown. As you look at Frank Solich, a man who has changed the entire feeling at Ohio University. I mean, they are serious about football now. Fundraising, facilities. He's keeping the guys on campus during the summer, which I was not aware of. I thought it was a given, but he said he had to raise money to keep those scholarships going through the summer for the kids.
Yeah, it was surprising to both of us.
After replay, there is indisputable proof that the ball broke the plane before he was out of bounds. Touchdown.
There you go. So the Bobcats on top.
Well, you know, we talked about that plane going on and on forever, but he's able to break inside. Even though his body's outside, he's able to put the football inside and score 6.
So Calvin McRae, who's been the go-to man for the Bobcats, has them in the lead now. And it appears they will be able to run the football all afternoon. There's the extra point by Matt Lasher. Calvin McRae is now over 1,000 yards this season. Second running back in Ohio history to go over 1,000 in consecutive years. You have to go back to Arnie Welcher back in 75, 76. That's a long time.
Well, we talked about it in the open. They're 7-0 when he goes for 100 yards. He's at about 50 now, or maybe a little bit more. So he's halfway there, getting awful close, actually 66. So, you know, you can kind of ring up a victory if you're an Ohio fan. And the other thing I talked about early on, look how much time that Miami was in scoring territory but didn't come away with anything but 3 points. And that should actually be 14-3, excuse me, because remember Brad Bauer went over the goal line and Robbie Wilson got to him right before he got into the end zone.
I still think that's one of the top 10 plays of the day.
I do. That was an outstanding hustle play.
I'm doing a little campaigning for that play.
Did Robbie pay you something before the game?
I mean, you don't see that too often, especially when he recovered it.
That was a great hustle play. I mean, and he probably was out of position a little bit, but still, he still made up for that era being out of position to make that tackle.
Matt Lasher will kick off. Wind at his back. Into the end zone it goes, and he decides to come out. A dangerous play, but he does advance it as we check in with Mike Gleason at Sports Center U Studio.
Returns the kickoff to the Miami 18-yard line. Stopped on the play by Irvin Jackson. First and 10, Reynolds.
Huskies are playing well, no doubt. And in fact, the bowl tie-ins now, you have the Motor City Bowl, which will be a MAC against a Big Ten team day after Christmas. The International Bowl is in Toronto, and the GMAC Bowl is down in Mobile. That's Coach Gottfried's bowl. He started that a few years back. And there's also a tie-in with the PapaJohns.com Bowl in Birmingham. If the Big East doesn't have enough schools, it could be a MAC team that fills that slot. Ryan Robinson on the outside showing some quick feet. Some nifty moves. He's knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Hey, when you get an open field, you know how you get afraid if you're a tackler? Ryan Robinson just gets you the heebie-jeebies. He makes you worry a little bit because he can make you miss and make you look so bad. You know, you call your friends at home and they say, TJ, what happened? Dog, I was right there, but he was gone. I mean, that's how good he is. And TJ Wright is not a bad tackler, but Ryan Robinson, he thinks punt return as soon as he gets the ball. I'm scoring. I'm going to the house. You got to make a tackle on him. If not, he can go.
That was a 22-yard pickup. Back to the ground for the Red Hawks. Running into a bunch of white jerseys. There's Jamison Hartke leading the charge, big number 90. And who else but Matt Muncy. And Robinson has had a marvelous career at Miami. There he is, first this year in receptions per game. Not bad.
No, I mean, he's put those numbers up consistently. He came in and he was a little undersized, but he's really bulked up, gotten stronger. He's a great baseball player, too. Has 65 career stolen bases with the Miami baseball team. So great ability in both sports. And usually two-sport athletes are really good in the return game because they have a knack for just getting open.
It's second down. First quarter winding down, flag down.
TJ Wright got beat on the line of scrimmage, and he just grabbed Ryan Riley. That's how you cover. You just hold it.
Sure. When in doubt, just latch on.
Now TJ's going over the line judge and trying to talk his way out of that, but it was so obvious.
He's pleading his case there. He's still talking. He's a guy who makes a lot of tackles, a lot of big hits from the cornerback slot. He likes to play up on the guy.
He really does. Has a lot of passes broken up, 14 on the year, a few today as well.
And if you're looking for the big reason Ohio has turned it around, this 6-game winning streak, the reason they're going to the MAC championship, defense. They are just stout.
That is.
We have holding against an eligible pass receiver, number 3. It's a previous 5 yard. It's 10 yards. It's automatic first down.
He's still lobbying. He should be a lawyer. I like that. TJ is still talking. But the one thing about it is their defense is so good because they were able to get kids that have been in the program for a while. TJ Wright, a senior. Matt Muncy, another senior. Michael Graham, Tyler Russ. They all have been around, and they've really been good for the younger guys that have come on to show them how to play the game.
And the first quarter comes to an end. Ohio on top 7-3, and it could have been worse. A fumble into the end zone, 2 turnovers, but Frank Solich will take it. Shane Montgomery hoping his team can pull it out on a gorgeous afternoon in Central Ohio. The Red Hawks are ready as we get ready for the second quarter. And Mike Kokel at quarterback. Nice fake. Busts the tackle, goes forward for a pickup of 7. But he takes another shot. Irvin Jackson, making his first start, came up and gave him a nice lick.
And he also ran into his own guy on that play.
I mean, he can't avoid contact.
Sean McVay was kind of blocking for him, and they smashed each other. Michael Mitchell goes over and gives him 5 for that after he comes up and knocks him around a little bit.
You know, Ohio really shortens the game. They control the clock, so Miami needs to take advantage of these opportunities. They're not going to get as many as they usually do. Kokel, the option, keeps it himself. Bobcat said, we see that in practice every day. We know that's coming. Here's the first half numbers, or first quarter numbers, and Ohio, as expected, dominating the rushing department.
They really did in total yards, but the turnovers were the key. That Ohio had given up those turnovers and still come away with a 7-3 lead. And Brad Bauer, he was involved in both of those, interception and the fumble. Although that fumble it could have easily gone the other way. If he crossed the plane, it would have been a touchdown, so we wouldn't have been talking about it.
It's 3rd and 1, and the Ohio defense urging the fans who made their way over to make some noise. The pitch back to Murphy, and he falls forward. I think he got enough for the first down.
And actually, they come in with big Austin Sykes.
Austin Sykes,
yeah.
right.
He's their big bruising back, 6 foot 228. Got a chance to play this year because of the injuries.
And he got it. There's the first down. Shane Montgomery talked to us before the game, Charles. Very excited about the future of this program. Good recruiting class. Went right back to Sykes.
Good movement by the offensive line, pushing people around. Josh Satterway, you see him going almost up to the linebacker level. Combo blocks there.
So Kokel back in at quarterback on 1st and 10. Sykes stays busy, goes over the right side. He's tripped up.
You watch this Miami team and you can see why they've only averaged 80-something yards a game. They just don't look like they're in a rhythm when they're running the football. Ohio, you watch and you think any play can go for a big gain. But Miami, it just doesn't look like they're comfortable running the football this year. And that's been their staple. They've been a very balanced team over the last few years.
In the rushing department, the Red Hawks have really suffered. The offensive line injuries have just absolutely killed them.
Charlie Norton out for the year, one of the key guys. Matt McCown, they thought he was going to be healthy. He has not been able to play consistently.
Kokel scrambling. And he's hit as he runs out of bounds. Brings up 3rd down.
Michael Graham was trying to take a shot on him as he was going out. But that's the one thing Kokel has done a very good job of. You see the pressure coming on that play. He's able to evade the rush and still pick up some positive yards. But their third down percentage has been so bad because they haven't been able to establish anything on first and second down.
We told you about Kokel had gone down 40 times, 46 sacks the Red Hawks have allowed this season. And that is a ton.
Yeah, that's a lot of. He's in the whirlpool every Sunday or Saturday in this venture.
It's 3rd and 7. Kokel wide open. It's a first down. R.J. Corbin on the receiving end.
You know what's been so impressive about Miami? The thing that I like about them when I watched them earlier in the year, we saw them do against Syracuse. But they keep fighting. I mean, no matter what the score is, and these are the kind of plays they come up with. Great job by Corbin at getting both feet in bounds. But what they have to do is they had not been able to finish. The defensive coordinator, Taylor Johnson, talked about that. Shane Montgomery talked about it. We just haven't finished games, and that's been our problem for the year.
Several close losses, frustrating, and that builds. Of course, they're coming off a win in that Mud Bowl game against Bowling Green. Torrential downpour the entire game. Austin Sykes this time busts a tackle, gets close to a first down. And you're right, Charles, he runs with authority, this big kid.
Well, I like the fact that they bring him in the game because, you know, if they see Calvin McRae, they're used to a big, powerful back. But let's give them a taste of that if you're Miami. Make them challenge. You got to challenge them. And you can see right inside, they're running downhill now, which is much better because Brandon Murphy, even though he's playing today, his ankle is not completely there. He has a high ankle sprain that just every week he keeps tweaking it.
It's 2nd down and 1, and Sykes lines up behind Kokel. And he continues. Oh, boy, he goes down. He'll lose a couple of yards. Busting through, making a nice tackle. Was Landon Cohen.
You know, whenever you need a big play, you seem like you call Landon Cohen's name. 10.5 tackles for loss on the year. Just great effort play right there. You know, beating Steve Koski, the center. Just, I mean, that's a man on man, you know. And usually if that play goes, if the center gets him, they're running for yards. Now, look at this, 3rd down again. Like you said, 31% on the year. Not very good 3rd down conversion team.
Not at all. Cohen battling a high ankle sprain as well. There you see the red zone offense. They did have the field goal earlier today if you just joined us. And this is big. They won't get many scoring opportunities against this Ohio team. Oh, it's a touchdown. They cash in that time. Ryan Robinson. That was pretty.
I like that. And the other thing they do is Ryan Robinson usually is the outside guy. They put him in the slot position. And that makes it a shorter throw also for Kokel, but an easy. Great protection by the line. And that just opens up. They know they're playing a two-man kind of concept with two deep, but underneath you can kind of work Ryan Robinson right across the middle where it's wide open.
So the Red Hawks on for the extra point. Trevor Cook tries to make it a 10-7 game. And he does. So the Red Hawks respond. That's the money man right there, Ryan Robinson. Getting open. Mike Kokel, nice arm there too. 8th touchdown of the season for Robinson. The home crowd at Yager Stadium has come alive. The Red Hawks with a nice drive against the top defense in the MAC. There it is, an 11-play, 82-yard march. And Ryan Robinson, what can you say? He always seems to be open.
Always seems to be the guy that Mike Kokel looks for. He knows, you know, Linus has a security blanket. Kokel has Robinson as his guy that he always knows he can depend on.
And Parsegian will kick off. And the Bobcats again will get good field position. It appears a short kick. That's Scott Mail busting it to the outside, and he's tripped up. Boy, he had an opportunity to have a big gainer, but he got tripped up just around the ankles. Calvin McRae, 66 yards, Charles. He's looked very good.
Well, he's looked good because of the inconsistency with Miami of tackling, overrunning plays, but he just has that knack. Watch this cut right there. You know, he times it up just perfectly, and when he does, he doesn't waste a lot of movement. I talked about his basketball skills. You can see why he's so good. Like a point guard, you kind of dribble that ball, you get through, you split the defenders, and you go to the house.
Yeah, Frank Solich told us McCray's had a great 2 years here at Ohio. He's glad to have it. From Decatur, Georgia. And there's Bauer with a fake pitch, keeping it himself. He's showed some speed, some nifty moves.
Yeah, he did. And that's the one thing you have to be able to run in this offense. I mean, they want to throw. Frank Solich was almost trying to sell us on the fact that they want to throw more. We're like, Coach, hey, if you're winning, it doesn't matter. 50 times, 60 times if you have to run it that many times. But you're right about shortening the game. He's one of the few coaches I talked to this year that wasn't upset about the rule changes because of the way they play football.
And the big fullback, Mitch Morcillo, we haven't called his name much, although he did catch a pass in that opening drive. But boy, he just levels people. He is a devastating blocker. There he is leading the way again. This time McCray punches it to the outside. And he gets tripped up. That's Wendell Brunson coming up to make the stop.
Clayton Mullins was going to get blocked by Mitch Morcillo, but Calvin McCray decided to take it outside. Usually when you see the fullback in the game for most teams, they use them in different ways, but this is a pure power eye running game when Morcillo comes in the ball. Morcillo, excuse me.
There it is, 11 runs, 4 passes so far. That's pretty much what they do. 75% run, 25% pass is their ratio. And again, Morcillo just lines up there, and he's going to zero in on whatever red jersey comes his way. He's going to try to blow him up. This time it's going wide. Bauer, the quarterback, keeps it, stretches, and he will be short. It'll be 4th down and inches.
Good defense right there by Miami.
Yeah, he had a lane.
Yeah.
But they were quick. Dante Wright came up, wrestled him down, and they're going to measure this one, I think.
You know, Dante Wright spent a lot of time early in his career playing special teams. But you can see he forced it back inside. Clayton Mullins, the other linebacker, sophomore out of Fairborn, Ohio, with a great tackle. It'll be awful close.
They're stretching that chain. And they're that close. What do you think? Go for it?
I'd say go for it. The way they're running the football, you line up Morcillo and you just get behind him with Calvin McCray.
I tell you, Charles, I worked the chains for 7th grade football back in my home state, Alabama. That's a serious job.
Hey, I never take that job. My son's in 8th grade, and they always ask for chain people. And if you're in a different, if you're on the other side, the fans get nasty.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. I thought I was just going to go down and have a good vantage point.
I'm always the guy coaching the chain people because I stay down on the field. I just make sure I stay away from it because it's in trouble.
All right, Ohio's going to go for it. Now keep in mind the ball is only on the 31-yard line. Boy, this would be a big stop, but I think Ohio is making a statement here.
Yeah, they're putting in their big package.
This is our macho game. This is what we do better than anybody else in the MAC. Stop us if you can, but we don't think you can do it. 4th and inches. McCray behind his big fullback. Oh my! Wow. Second effort, got it, and it's a fumble. No, they call him down.
The line judge is coming in saying he's down.
Boy, the initial stop, he was short, but then second effort got it.
That was a great penetration play by Miami because you had Jason White, the fullback, Mitch Morcillo in there, and then they also pulled one of the offensive linemen around to try to just overload that off-tackle play. That was a pure off-tackle play, and they barely got there.
Second effort, just
watch the replay.
Yeah, watch this and watch the fumble.
Look at all those white jerseys coming in, but the red jersey, Joey Card stays there, and then this second effort right here. I mean, now you can't really tell if his knee is down. I think that's what the fans are upset about. But McCray did go down, and then the ball came out. I'm just saying, is his knee down there before? If they get the playoff, see, they're going to challenge that.
Yeah,
because they're saying he was down, and then the second effort, he made it on the second effort. Great defense, though, by Miami.
They're pesky today. They really are. Of course, this is a rivalry game.
Yeah.
The last play is being challenged by Miami.
So, Charles, somebody upstairs told Coach Montgomery, challenge it.
Well, and that's what you're supposed to do because from where I'm looking at it, I thought he was down. And I thought right away he wasn't going to make it. And you look at this replay, this is the only look that we've seen so far. And watch, McCray is going to get hit right there by Joey Card. Is his knee down there? Hard to tell, but he stretches out, and that's how he gets the first down. This is the better angle. It looks like he's able to keep his body up and lean out. I mean, it's going to be a tough call.
You have won a blazing hot
Yeah, that's going to be difficult to tell.
Great body control by Calvin McCray, and just real strong effort because he had a lot of mass in front of him. David White was coming up there in front of him, Jason White 40, but the effort, if they get this, is McCray's doing.
It has to be indisputable, and I think the play, the call on the field is going to stand here.
They've come back way too quick.
Because the whistle had blown. The play cannot be reviewed. So Miami will not be charged with a timeout. It's still first down.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That was the whistle had to blow because they called it dead. So the Bobcats with the first down. Shane Montgomery headsets back on. His second season, and as he told us in describing this year, he just said, hey, everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong for us. From injuries to fumbles to weird calls, close losses. It's been a tough season. This would make it all better if they can somehow beat the Bobcats here at home. Bowers with the fake, going forward.
And you know what Ohio does? They spread you out where you have to cover all 55 yards of the field. And I think that's where they find those running lanes. They show Chris Garrett again coming around. They use Bauer to move outside. They use the receiver, Scott Mayo. He used to be one of their main guys. And what it does is it opens up running lanes in the middle of the field so those corners and safeties really play a little bit tighter. And if they miss tackles, then that allows folks to just keep running.
It's second down and 6. Frank Solich pacing the sidelines, looking on. Brad Bauer gets the start for Austin Everson, who has that high ankle sprain. Bauer stretches forward, keeping that clock moving. Matt Coppage, the left tackle, big number 78, got up gingerly in that last play. A guy who has a big harness on his shoulder, had off-season shoulder surgery, and it's just been a problem all year. I mean, you know, after you have surgery, it just hurts.
And he's also had knee injuries. He's a team captain. And, you know, Frank Solich said, hey, he's a great player. I don't know if he'll get a chance to play at the next level. He's just been banged up his whole career, but he's probably been as healthy as he's been this year as he's ever been in his career at Ohio.
Yeah, does not practice during the week to rest that shoulder. You saw the big harness on both shoulders, the double reverse. No, it's the fake. And I think that'll be a first down. Fake me out momentarily.
Well, you know what Miami has done? They've taken Frank Weewo and Jared Gaines out of the game. Both Weewo's a senior, Gaines is a junior. And they have Jeff Thompson playing now and Wendell Brunson at the corner positions.
So it'll be fourth down. He did not get the spot. He went out of bounds. So again, fourth down and inches again for Frank Solich.
This time I think he's going to go with the punting unit. Field position game now.
Still lots of time, so the punter comes on Matt Lasher.
Well, and look how difficult it was for him before. He says, okay, we tried that once, barely got it. Let's go with the punting team.
Ryan Robinson with 7 career punt returns for touchdowns. 2 have come against these guys. 3, excuse me. Robinson wiggled his way out of the first tackle and then gets wrapped up. Josh Abrams on the stop. They tied him up that time. They don't want him to go in the record books. Not that way. ESPNU College Football is presented by Remington Titanium Shavers. And we have a close shave today between these two teams. We thought it would be close coming in despite the records. It's a rivalry game, and these two teams have always played close. You find a lot of close games in the MAC.
Yeah, you do. And I think also, too, these teams know each other very well. A lot of history.
Pokel to the outside, overshoots Jake O'Connell. O'Connell, a big target at 6'4", but that was even too tall for him. Again, this series started back in 1928. They haven't played every year. The last win for the Bobcats here in Oxford was 1993, and the Red Hawks have certainly dominated, winning the last 9 of the last 10.
Well, and what did the Ohio coaches all say? Until we win, it's really not a rivalry.
That's right.
You know, 9 out of the last 10 meetings have gone Miami's way.
Bobcats trying to change the whole image of the program. More than 1,000 people made the trek, and they're here in the stands rooting them on. They sold all their allotment of tickets, and they actually asked for more today. Bauer with a nice fake, slides right into a tackle, and that's a penalty. Irvin Jackson.
Irvin Jackson out of Kiln, Mississippi, same hometown as Brett Favre.
Yep.
Dead ball, personal foul, defense.
Listen to this shot.
A little helmet to helmet, huh?
So you want to play football, huh?
Wow. That's 15 yards tacked on. That is a big penalty. And I like Mike Kokel. Boy, he is
but you see
he's very active and smart.
He talked to him like, but why?
Yeah.
What's going on here? He didn't even budge.
Kokel, obviously a tough kid. We told you about all the hits that he's taken this season.
One game he couldn't play was against Cincinnati. He was dizzy and disoriented after taking so many of those shots.
That's never a good thing. That goes nowhere. The swing pass to the outside. Michael Graham came up and just blew that one up.
Having covered the MAC for a number of years, the one thing I always realized about Ohio, they were very physical and they play with a chip on their shoulder, and here's the reason why. Just want to be physical and fly to the football. That was even before Frank Solich came in. So his mentality from Nebraska, he just carries that over here with a group of guys that are under-recruited, sometimes undersized, but just love to play the game of football.
Here's Graham's numbers, the senior from Cincinnati. Last time he'll play against the Red Hawks. It's second down and 12. Kokel with time over the middle. Almost intercepted.
Taj Henley was right on the spot there. And Kokel, actually, you know, the reason why he almost threw that interception was because I think he had Landon Cohen at his feet grabbing him. And he couldn't really set him.
So it's 3rd and 12. And again, that field position game, this is big for Miami. If they don't get a first down, it looks like Ohio will get good field position again.
You know, 3rd and 12, you know, Ohio's coming with some kind of dogs. You look for the linebackers or safety coming on this play.
Kokel. Again with time over the middle. In and out of the hands of Ryan Robinson. Nice coverage by Michael Mitchell.
They come with both of those linebackers, Matt Muncy, Taj Henley, and the safety, Irvin Jackson. So Michael, you know, then you have Michael Mitchell just coming back playing that secondary. You see the pressure coming a little bit, and that's a good job inside out. They know Ryan Robinson is going to be the guy, so they try to play him high-low and just really take the ball away from him.
So Trevor, or check that, Jake Richardson on to punt. His second punt of the day. Oh, this is a nice punt. Deep spiraling punt. And that ball will bounce short, and they're going to down it at the 1-yard line. Wow. Great hustle. Getting down there from Miami was Wendell Brunson, and he kept it from going into the end zone. What a punt. What a weapon. And the Bobcats will be starting from the 1. Check this out. Somehow he kept it out of the end zone. Ooh. He's challenged that last play that was down on the 2-yard line. Wendell Brunson.
Replay confirms that the ball did not go in the end zone. It was down where it is. And Ohio will be charged with team timeout.
You know, I think what Brunson did a good job of is he hit the ball first, and then his foot is going to go down. I mean, barely got the ball and then the foot. That's awful close.
Wow.
So a nice hustle play by Brunson. Frank Solich will be charged to timeout, and his team will start from the 2-yard line. That was a big play, and that was a boom, boom.
Yeah, it was close.
It was hard to tell. Play selection so far for the Bobcats, 80% on the ground. That's what we expected coming in. Those are the last 2 drives, by the way. At the last 2 drives, nothing has gone in the air. Down in this area, I doubt it's going to go up in the air again. Gray over the left side, gets it out to the 5-yard line.
Ball carrier Calvin McRae.
The fans of Miami don't see it now, but Bo Schembechler, who just passed, this was his offense. He loved the power running game. And if you ever, I played against Michigan when I was at UCLA my senior year, and you would just off tackle, you knew it was going to come. You had to stop it. We played them close, but they eked out a victory against us. But it's just a power running game that we see Ohio running.
2nd down and 7. You see the I formation. McRae behind his big fullback. Goes forward. We'll make it 3rd down and about 4. But you think of Frank Solich. Here's a guy who grew up around the Cleveland area and admired Paul Brown and Jim Brown. That's all he did was run the football. Then he goes to Nebraska and plays for Bob Devaney, where he was a undersized fullback. At the time, he wasn't undersized. The player's just bigger now. And then, of course, he coached for Tom Osborne, was the head coach in Nebraska. That's all he's done.
Well,
he's run the football.
They run it effectively at Nebraska, but I think he does want to have just enough where they can throw it as well as run it, because if they get in the games where they get too far behind, the running game goes out of the window.
McRae bouncing around, lowers his head, and gets a 1st down. Great determination there by Calvin McRae.
You know, some people say, well, he's dancing, but his pads are leaning forward, and he's always got the vision to think, I'm going forward. I'm not going to lose yards. Watch this. He's going to, boom, lower the pads on Joey Card, who's a very good tackler. But he says, okay, I'm going to get as low as you, and I'm going to just run over you. Offensive line is doing a great job of getting pushed, so let's give them credit there also. But the end result, he finishes off runs.
It has been a quick first half. Thanks mainly to the Bobcats, who are doing it on the ground. And you're right, Joey Card came up and made that initial hit. Now, Card is a free safety. He's had 4 double-digit tackle games for Miami this year. And there's Caleb Bostic as well. It's not a good thing when your secondary guys make all the tackles, but that's been the case.
Yeah, it has been the case for them, and I think that's one of the reasons why they get beat deep sometimes, because he gets a little nosy. He loves to go in there and hit, but he also can get interceptions, Joey Card can. The biggest problem is if they catch him kind of creeping up there a little too much.
Miami calls the timeout. Saturday on ESPNU, a couple of big football games at noon Eastern. It's Rutgers, now 15th in the country, trying to keep its hopes alive of a Big East championship as they take on Syracuse. And then at 7 Eastern, it's East Carolina and NC State. College football rivalry week presented by Remington on ESPNU Saturday. Big East standings. Rutgers took it on the chin last week against Cincinnati. But there you see they're in that 3-way tie with Louisville and West Virginia.
Well, Louisville last week, we did that game with South Florida. And they were just so upset and distraught that they didn't play better against Rutgers in the second half. And they had even said, I think they're going to get beat by Cincinnati, and you saw that happen. So the Big East is still up for grabs. 3 teams at the top.
Rutgers plays at West Virginia next week. So there's a good in Morgantown, so there's a good possibility they could all wind up 5-1.
Yeah. A lot of things have to happen for those folks to shake out if they end up 5-1.
Well, I mean, obviously Rutgers and West Virginia will have the second loss, but you'll have a 2-way tie. Wide open. Oh, nice defensive play by Joey Card. He got back. We told you about his run defense, but he hustled back to deflect that.
No, and he does a good job of covering the field. That's the one thing they like about Joey Card. Sometimes free safeties aren't very physical, but he does a great job of he gets sucked in, but watch this great effort play. Almost comes up with an interception. And that's what the design of that play is. They want to hold you just a second or two to allow that run to come over, that play to come over. Bauer, if he gets rid of it a little bit earlier, may have the receiver open downfield.
There he had to open up the plays. He had to get the second page of the plays in the wristband. It's 3rd down and 9 from the shotgun. Bauer dumps it off, and that'll be close to a 1st down.
Justin Riley Doesn't have a lot of catches on the year, but the one thing they do is they spread the ball around. Now Bauer, one of those guys, probably, and it is a first down. Bauer has probably worked so much more with Justin Riley since he's the backup. And, you know, he's saying, hey, Lobby, hey, Brad, I'm here for you, man.
Sure.
I am here for you.
And he looked good that time.
Any receiver that doesn't lobby for a rock is he's lying to you.
It's 1st and 10 now from the 26, and Bauer, they've gotten pass happy all of a sudden. And that's pass interference on Frank Wewo because he never turned around to look.
Exactly. You always get caught on that if you don't turn around. And Wewo is a very good cover guy. He's a good cover corner.
Interference on a defense.
And we've seen T.J. Wright make the same plays, but he's turned around, turned his head, and made a play on the ball. If you stay with the receiver, he is turning around, but he gets caught up where he doesn't get his head all the way around. He's even telling him, look, I'm making a play on the ball. So he's looking inside, then he turns around.
I think he had a point.
Yeah,
and he was pointing to the big screen. So look at it, it's on TV up there.
Yeah.
They're showing our game on the scoreboard right now.
But, you know, the one thing I don't like about that call, it takes away from the aggressiveness of the defender now. He has to always worry about, I got to turn at a certain time, and that's how they get beat a lot.
1st and 10 from the 40. Bauer has a man getting out of bounds. That was Scott Mail. Bauer knows what he's doing. We mentioned he'd started 4 games at Illinois before he transferred.
We saw these guys working a lot on their pass routes before the game. They came out real early, about 2 hours, an hour and a half before the game. The Ohio receiving corps had their position coach, and he was just throwing them the ball. Derek Mason was just firing it away, and they were catching most of the passes.
So 1st and 10, trying to get in field goal range. Bauer going for the home run, and it's caught down to the 11-yard line. That's Mail again. Had the defender turn around.
That's the guy they usually challenge on this defense. Jared Gaines is more of a boundary corner, meaning he plays, makes more of the tackles. But now you can see they're airing it out. Max protection, no pressure on Bauer, and just a great adjustment by Scott Mail. Jared Gaines is lost in space, so to speak. He can never really turn around and find where the defender is, the receiver is, or the football.
Hey, look at Bauer. He's revved up. His first start. Austin Everson has started 22 games in a row. Bauer wants to lead him in for a go-ahead touchdown here just before halftime. Keeper it himself. Flag down on the play. Bauer inside the 5 down to the 3, but we'll check the flag.
Looked like half the team thought it was on 1 and the other half thought it was on 2.
So it goes against the Bobcats. You know, this has been an interesting drive for Frank Solich and company, Charles, because back when they were deep in their own territory, I thought they were content to just run out the clock.
Yeah, they made a couple of plays, that interference play on Wewo.
Illegal procedure against the offense. Only had 6 people on the line. It's 5 yards from the previous spot. Still first.
The other part of it is, too, is that they just really they've been running the same play. They max protect, and the 2 outside receivers have just run up the field, and Miami has not been able to stop it.
Yeah, nothing fancy.
No.
I mean, it's been pretty vanilla. But it's all in execution, and they've done a nice job, especially Brad Bauer. A good look at him right now. Keeping it himself behind the blockers into the end zone. Touchdown, Brad Bauer. Boy, showing some savviness and some speed. Bauer doing a nice job in relief of Austin Everson.
He really has. He's come on strong today, and I think that's what they needed, a big play. Got Taylor Price, the wide receiver, out there doing a good job blocking, and just, you know, Brad Bauer finding a way to get to the end zone.
So Matt Lasher on for the extra point. And he misses it. That's his 3rd miss of the season, and Lasher, his coach was telling us the other day what a great season he has had, and that was just a bad mistake.
Frank Solich, what happened?
Didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Looks like my golf game.
Oh, that was a bad hook. That was a duck hook. You're right, Charles. That was you off the tee right there.
Yeah, I know I'm going to hit it long, but I just don't know where it's going to go.
And obviously Lasher didn't either that time. But it's still a 3-point lead for Ohio. There you see Bauer, his shoulder pads are exposed there. Looks like he's been hustling out there, huh?
Yeah, no good design. I mean, they attacked Miami's secondary and then come back with the option game, which they're so effective at. But he did, you know, Frank Solich did say if Bauer gets a chance to play, kind of alluded to the fact that Austin Everson was a little bit banged up, that he would run, they would pass a little bit more. And we're seeing that.
Matt Lasher, the senior, will kick off now after missing that extra point. A high kick, almost like a pitching wedge.
Got golf on the mind.
Hey, it's a beautiful day. What can I tell you? Hey, check out Bauer now. Play action fake. Froze the defensive back there, Charles, huh?
Oh, yeah. Jared Gaines had no idea where the ball was. And then on the ground here, effectively getting in there. Got big bruisers up front, but more. You see, he's going to hit somebody if they're out in the parking lot. Marcelo, he just wants to hit someone.
Boy, he clobbers you too. That was too strong by Kokel. Looking for Brandon Murphy, who took a shot and got knocked out of bounds.
You know, and that's the toughest thing for this Miami offense. They thought, hey, we got a 1,000-yard rusher coming back. We probably can get him 30, 40 receptions. And Brandon Murphy just hadn't been able to play. See the scoring drive here by Bauer.
98-yard march.
Yeah.
After that 61-yard punt that was down at the 2-yard line. Bobcats strong, and here comes Kokel with some room, and he slides in there. That time they don't hit him.
You know, so often you see that long drive. It's about a less than 5% chance that you'll score any points. They come away with a touchdown.
And a timeout for Miami. Kokel goes to the sidelines. Hey, log on to your online source for all things in college sports, ESPNU.com. This online service is a gateway to all college sports content from ESPN. Exclusive materials, scores, columns, video, audio highlights, podcasts, live streaming games, and a whole lot more. It's ESPNU.com. See, the band was loving it there. This time of year, they're in short sleeves.
Yeah.
Of course, the students are obviously home for the holidays. It's good to see some band members taking it for the team, huh? Getting back for the big game.
I told you, I saw quite a few band members over at Starbucks before the game.
Getting warmed up, huh?
Warmed up, yeah. Getting ready to play.
That young lady enjoying a beautiful afternoon here in Oxford, Ohio.
Well, you know, the husband's got it right. See, most wives will say, it's beautiful outside. Let's go shopping. Let's get there at 5 a.m. Guys will say, don't forget that. We're going to go get some Starbucks coffee. We're going to wait. We're going to get whatever your convenience store is, and then we're going to go to the game because it's going to be nice and warm, 60 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a beautiful day.
That's my shopping.
Yeah, I hear you.
Cup of coffee, paper, and then come to the game.
3rd and 6 for Mike Kokel. Has all day to throw, and that's batted down by Matt Muncy. 37 seconds remaining. Bring up 4th down. And now Ohio with an opportunity to maybe get in field goal range with 46 ticks.
Now look at Muncy playing this perfectly. Doesn't run through the guy, gets around him, kind of slides. I talked about him being very athletic when he got here. He was a running back in high school, played all the positions on the field like most guys at his size at 200 pounds. And now he's morphed into a man at 240 and makes a great defensive play there.
Chris Garrett is deep for Ohio. And Jake Richardson on to punt again for the Red Hawks. His last punt was a 61-yarder, and Garrett fields it at the 20, calls for the fair catch. 29 seconds remaining. My bet is they'll go conservative and run out the clock.
Oh, I would think so. But
you never know.
You know, Frank Solich is saying, and we talked to some of his coaches as well, they want to win this ball game. I mean, it's not been much of a rivalry on their part, and they really want to challenge Miami. because Miami for so long has been the class of their division, and they've tried to find ways to beat them and have not been able to.
You have to go back to 1968, the last time the Bobcats had a 9-win season. They're on the verge. Now 8-3. And they'll go to one knee. And that's the end of the first half. It has been a fun first half. We've had some big plays, some big turnovers, and Frank Solich jogs into the locker room. Once again, it's 13-10 Bobcats. Let's go back to the studio now where Mike Gleason and Steve Israel standing by. Guys, time now for the first half stats presented by Remington, and the numbers pointing in the direction of Ohio, especially in the running department. And we knew that coming in. That was the big advantage for the Bobcats. And the quarterback, we didn't expect that much from the quarterback, though. Bauer.
Yeah, we really didn't, but I think in talking to Frank Solich and then also, too, they realized that Austin Everson for the last few weeks has not been very healthy. So they had to get Bauer in the game just in case they get to the MAC championship game and need to use him.
And there you see the man of the hour so far, his first start. Of course, he did start 4 games at the University of Illinois, Brad Bauer. Parsegian will kick off for the Red Hawks. The wind at his back launches this one into the end zone. And so the Bobcats of Ohio U will start from the 20-yard line.
And Doug, that's a good point you bring up. Think about now when Ohio gets transfers, they're getting guys like Illinois. They come in from Illinois as opposed to in the past, maybe not the big-time universities or big tradition universities, but now they're getting guys to come to them because of Frank Solich's reputation.
And recruiting is going well for Ohio. Doors are opening that had not opened in years past because of the publicity, because of Frank Solich. I mean, it's amazing when you win.
Yeah.
It really is a trickle-down effect.
I agree with you. And I also think the chemistry helped this team stay together. They've had some off-season things.
To 14:54.
Had to get the accurate time.
Yeah, sure.
14:29, go to 14:54. But the other thing is that pregame losing streak made all of those guys realize how close they had to get together in order to win. They had a players-only meeting, and then they went on a 6-game tear.
So first and 10 from the 20 for Ohio U. And Bauer with play action fake. Has a man open. Oh, it had to be a perfect pass. Scott Mail had a step, and that's about it. Sonny Sano is the strength coach for Ohio U. And he was on the old staff, and Frank Solich, who believed in that at Nebraska because that was a big part of that program, liked Sonny Sano, and they've implemented a strength and conditioning program. And Frank Solich said it's amazing in the last year and a half. I mean, they have gotten a lot stronger as a unit.
Well, they built a sand pit right outside, got guys running out there. If you have 99% participation in that program, you're going to sweat together, you're going to work together, so when you get in a game situation, you bond.
And there you see the numbers under Solich in the previous 4 years. There's a dangerous screen pass. Goes to William Norwood, and that was snuffed out. Heads up play by Clayton Mullins. You know, it was interesting. Ohio U, as Frank Solich said, the key was getting these scholarships paid for in the summer before all the football players went home. They couldn't afford to have the scholarship in the summer, so he got booster money together. Last year, as you said, in the summer, for the first time, 99% of the guys stayed there, lifted weights, bonded, went to school together. That's what it takes.
Yeah, at summer school, there's less activity going on, so they did a lot together for the whole summer.
Team chemistry is really something in this Bobcats team. There's Bauer. He'll come up short of the first down. It'll be 4th down and 1. Heads up play by Bauer. And they'll bring on the punting team.
Miami tried to keep everything in front of them, but Bauer almost broke that containment.
There you see Frank Solich. His demeanor, the way he looks, just hasn't changed at all, except instead of a red windbreaker, he's wearing a green one.
Well, he better kick it away from the guy number 2 back here, Ryan Robinson.
Matt Lasher, according to his coach now, is the best kicker he thinks in the MAC conference, although we did see him miss that point. Uh-oh. And he muffs that. Just throws it up a little. Garrel Yepremian and the Miami Ohio Redhawks take advantage. They have the ball on the 7-yard line.
Special teams always seems to play a role in rivalry games, the games that are closely contested. You know Miami's going to come out and make some plays, and this is an excellent opportunity. Ohio has given the ball away now 3 times. This is a play you can't have. Bad snap. And then Lasher just tries to get it to Michael Mitchell there, but it wasn't going to really matter because Ohio would have turned the ball over right at that spot. It's a bad snap. He really he has a chance to field it, but he misses it. And then tries to get away to Michael Mitchell. Here, you take it. Hot potato.
So Mike Kokel and company with an opportunity. Going nowhere was Brandon Murphy. Irvin Jackson came up. As you look at the turnovers now, 3 for the Bobcats. And there comes to a point where you keep doing that, it's going to be trouble for you.
Well, and you take for granted so often the deep snap. Ryan Sensor, who's the listed long snapper, doesn't get the ball to Matt Lasher. He probably still could have caught it. Had a chance because there was no rush on. But this is where Miami has to capitalize. They haven't been doing a very good job of turning these turnovers into points.
So 2nd and goal. Pump fake. And throw the outside is Robinson. He's wrestled down at the 3-yard line. That's Mark Parson. Wrapped him up.
Look how quickly the 3 guys get over there when they see whenever Ryan Robinson gets the ball. Parson was by himself. Robinson tried to make a miss, and then all of a sudden you just see all your buddies show up.
Hey, what do you think about Robinson in the NFL? You think he'll get a look?
He'll be a return guy. You know, if he gets a chance, it'll be return. He'll play some, and he could be a Dante Hall kind of guy. You know, you return and then you put him in certain situations, get him screened. It depends on the team that he goes to also.
Great hands, made a lot of grabs this season. Kokel, here comes the blitz. Into the end zone. Did he get his feet down? Yes, touchdown, Tom Crabtree. Just got him inbound.
He's been looking for his first touchdown on the year. Usually in this area, the tight end is the guy that you like to look for. Jake O'Connell is usually the guy in this area. 2 touchdowns on the year, but Crabtree gets an opportunity. Play action going the other way, and just enough time for Kokel. 1 foot, 2 foot. Oh, nice job by Crabtree of dragging the feet. Been working with the receivers a little bit.
So the extra point will make it a 4-point game, and that missed extra point for the Bobcats. Interesting. It's now 17-13. Hey, check out Mike Kokel. Yes, he's pumped up. Tom Crab, 8-3, 2-9 the Red Hawks, but right now taking advantage of a bunch of miscues by Ohio.
Yeah, we talked about Ohio getting a great offseason. You know, Miami, they're not playing like it's the offseason. They want to win a game and then go into the offseason with some real confidence, and they feel like this is the perfect time to do it. They've had a very good record against this Ohio Bobcat team. 9 out of the last 10 years, they've won those ball games, so they feel like they have their number.
So Parsegian will kick off again for the Red Hawks. Scott Mail is deep for Ohio U, and he fields it into the end zone, and he'll go down to 1 knee. So the Bobcats will start from the 20. It's been a series of turnovers for Ohio.
Yeah, not playing very well, not protecting the football. Joey Hudson gets bingo for Joey Card. They take it back, and then this great play, the one that you love, I think it's an outstanding hustle play. And then Matt Lasher panics a little bit there. He doesn't field the ball cleanly. And then plays a little hot potato with Michael Mitchell. Joey Card again. Joey Card is just always around the football.
There's the takeaways and the points. So far, it's resulted in only that 1 touchdown. So the Bobcats have avoided disaster here into the 3rd quarter. That is intercepted but out of bounds. Joey Card dove for it and actually got it, but he was out of bounds.
Not a good decision by Brad Bauer. Get rid of that football, throw it away. You're out of the pocket. Don't give that. Don't give Joey Card a chance. You know, he's a ball hawk. We talk about guys that have a chance at the next level. You know, at the halftime break, I got a chance to see Bill Polian. I did the Colts pre and post game radio show and preseason TV for about 7 years, and he's here. You know, there's a lot of guys like a Joey Card that's seniors, Ryan Robinson. Those kind of guys are coming from MAC schools now, getting a lot of looks.
Getting a lot of exposure these days. Bauer. Oh, wow, he takes a shot, goes down. Craig Mester junior out of Grand Rapids, Michigan.
You know, if the Colts are looking for defense, we can talk about on the other side, T.J. Wright, a senior as well. But right now, Craig Mester says, hey, look at me, guys. I can rush the passer.
That was a 9-yard loss. Mester had 10 sacks for his career coming into this year. Only that was his second sack of the season. So down in numbers, but that'll make the big fella feel pretty good. It's 3rd and 19. And this is not the Bobcats game. They like to control things, run that football. There's the swing pass to the outside. And it'll be another punting situation. That was Chris Garrett. It gets 4 yards back.
They really like to keep it in 3rd and short. You know, 3rd and 2 or 3 is their game plan. And when they're in 3rd and 19, I don't think their playbook even expands to that. You know, it's difficult for them because, they, you know, Coach Solich even said, hey, we're still working on our passing game, and it's not where we need it to be. Now you have a chance to see Ryan Robinson. This is where the ball can get in his hands, and he can really do something with it.
Yeah, he's lined up on the 40. That time a good snap. The punt gets away. It's a short kick. Robinson fumbles it himself, and Ohio comes up with it. Wow. We didn't expect that. Josh Abrams was right there on the muff and gets the loose football.
Well, you can't expect that. Ryan Robinson will take some chances, and that's not a play where you want to take a chance. The ball is kicked short because it's going into the wind. And instead of calling for the fair catch, well, he'll have space to catch the football. He doesn't do that, and he tries to make a play on it, like short hop it and take it back.
Well, that was big for Ohio. That gets them out of a huge hole, and that's not what we expected from that man, the all-MAC return man, and one of the best in the country, Ryan Robinson. Took his eye off it just for a moment. There's the fake. Brad Bauer goes forward.
And Doug, you know, it's like a three-point shooter. The same things that make them great make them bad sometimes, the decisions that they make. And you're almost thinking, yeah, no.
Because if he called for the fair catch, they'd have had the ball in midfield.
Yeah, he had space in front of him.
So Robinson tried to shake that off in his final game.
Yeah. The other big thing is he's been kicked away from so much. He wants to try to make a play every time he has that opportunity.
And McRae goes forward. It'll bring up 3rd down and a couple.
Only thing about that, though, you give this team that short of a field, and like I said, now it's 3rd and 2 or 3. They're about 50-something% when they get to this point. They're so much more efficient at 3rd and short.
So 3rd down and 2. Frank Solich and company. Coach Solich just continues to pace that sideline, never changes expression. Bauer, I think, drew him off. No flag. Saw some movement, and then he surged forward.
Coming into today's game, if they're 3rd and 3 yards or less, they're 61% on the year. So the efficiency, and that's what offensive linemen too. It's, you know, some teams love the pass block, but I think these guys are accustomed to coming off the football and just moving you out of the way. It's a will thing. Not always skill and short yardage. This is will. Can you will yourself into knocking this guy, putting the hat on the hat, and just driving him back?
Attitude, off-season conditioning, working in the weight room. You're right. And we've seen that change in the Bobcats. Quick snap. McRae over the left side, goes forward. Now this is Ohio football right now.
Yeah, and in the past they've had running backs like Chad Brinker and some other guys that weren't as nifty and shifty as Calvin McRae. You know, he brings a little dirty South attitude. He's from down in the Atlanta ATL, and then you got Sonny Smith working with him. You know, and I'm sure he listens to Ludacris. He's saying excuse me, but he probably wanted to say something else. Roll out is basically what his attitude is. He's gone.
From the gun now, Brad Bauer on 2nd down and 7. Here's he sticking to the ground. Bauer with a pump fake. Has his man Mail out there, and he drops it. Scott Mail was there and had it and couldn't hang on.
Well, Jared Gaines, they picked on him again.
When
Whenever they get into the boundary, if you see the replay here, the hash marks dictate where the boundary corner goes. He goes to the short side of the field, and Bauer almost comes up with a nice play to Mail. And they've matched Mail up against the corner that's not as good a cover guy. Frank Wewo is their best cover man. They don't challenge him much, but they will go after Jared Gaines.
Yeah, Gaines, according to the coaches, he's our shutdown cornerback. They call him Machine, the way he works in the weight room. He's maniacal in there. And Bauer with lots of time over the middle has his man, first down. That's Mail. And stretches it out to the 11-yard line, Scott Mail.
That was a nice play.
Actually inside the 10.
Yeah, and the other thing is they come with a dig route. They've been running Mail on routes where he's going down the field, and Frank Wewo was guessing on that play. He was trying to stay with Mail because he thought he was going to run down the field. And watch, you're going to see 82 White come across the screen. And you see number 5 outside, Wewo, the cover guy. Now he's trying to get to him. He's going to hurt himself a little bit when he goes down. Almost hog ties him back.
Alvin McCray lines up behind Bauer. It's first and goal. The ball's on the 7. That's McCray. Nothing fancy, right up the middle. Takes a couple of hits. Dante Wright leads the charge for the Red Hawks. There you see him, 37. Seth Painter was in there.
You know, Doug, we talked to Taver Johnson, the defensive coordinator. He said, you know what they're going to do. It's just a matter of trying to stop it.
Yeah, which is hard. You know, you look at Dante Wright, and Charles, you know, I mean, here's a guy, he's played his best football the last 3 games.
Yes.
This is his last game.
Yes.
It's a shame he doesn't have one more year. That's what the coaches were saying, because he's finally put it together here in the last month.
Yeah, because he played for 3 years as a backup linebacker mainly on special teams, and now that he's getting a chance to play, they really like how he's coming on.
His last game today. One of 11 seniors saying goodbye. Bauer goes inside the 5, down to the 3.
But Bauer has done a very good job, other than for the interception. And, you know, he's done a very good job of managing this team, working too, and you can see his experience there. You can see him coming from a Big Ten school like Illinois, having a chance to play there, and then coaching staff changes like it so often does, and now he's here with Ohio, and they really are happy to have him.
Bobcats 6 out of 11 on 3rd down conversions. This is 3rd and goal from the 3. Bauer into the corner. Incomplete. Looking for William Norwood.
And, you know, Frank Wewo does a good job there. He kind of shields Norwood from catching the ball, and he's so long, 6'3", 179 out of Miami. He doesn't allow Norwood to even really see the ball. That's what makes him such a good cover corner. He adjusts. Earlier in the game, he had a pass interference call, which was kind of questionable. That time he played the ball and didn't even worry about the man.
Matt Lasher on for a 20-yard field goal attempt. This is basically an extra point, and he missed one the last time he tried it. And that was almost blocked. That was a low squibber that just got through.
His confidence is a little shaky.
Been a tough afternoon for a young man who has been terrific for Ohio, but nevertheless it gets through. It's a 1-point game. Keep in mind Ohio missed that extra point. They're still down by 1. Ooh, almost blocked, but it gets through. He says, what the heck? It counts like 3. There you see the sun gleaming down here in Oxford, Ohio. It really is unseasonably warm today. It's going to be in the 60s, low 60s, although, Charles, the wind keeps a little nip in the air, you know? My hands are still a little cold up here in the press box. And Lasher's had a strange afternoon for him. That's a high short kick. And Miami gets it out to the 28. Andre Bratton returned that one. That was a short kick, and again, good field position. You know, we talked to Frank Solich. We asked him, what is the key to this year? And he said, field position. Our average starting position all year is the 37, and our opponents is only the 26.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference, but so far the Red Hawks are looking good today. There's Kokel's numbers. Not great, but not bad. Those 2 touchdowns are pretty good. Kokel will be back next year. 11 seniors with their parents on the field before kickoff today saying goodbye. That goes nowhere.
You know, I'm also surprised, too, that Miami hasn't tried to get Dustin Woods in the game. He's their deep threat. And, you know, when you have a coach that says, well, I know Ryan is really fast, but Dustin Woods is even faster, that probably makes those two guys want to compete. Let's go have a foot race. But he really is an extremely fast player, and they usually get him in positions once or twice a game deep down the field.
You see number 88, he's lower portion of your screen. Ryan Robinson is at the top. Oakle swings it out to Brandon Murphy. Murphy staying in bounds. That'll keep the clock rolling. Again, it has been a fast-paced game. Here you see Murphy, and they're just hoping he'll be back next year as well. They're hoping he's the Murphy of old next season. He'll be 100% healthy at least to start the campaign.
You know, when you have a high ankle sprain, people hear that all the time. It means your whole ankle is hurt. Usually you can get it on the inside or the outside where you can have a localized area to rehab. But when you have that high ankle sprain, it just takes so long to recover.
Yeah, look at the graphic now. 46 sacks allowed by Miami. Today, 0. So the offensive line putting together their best performance so far. Copa with time. Oh, a dangerous pass.
But the one point to that, Ohio only came into the game with 15 sacks on the year. As great as their defense plays, they don't put a lot of pressure on quarterbacks. That's the one thing they said they had to do a better job of, too.
Sure.
But they've hit him enough times to make him know, hey, we're here. Great defensive play right there by Mark Parson.
So the punting team on with a wind at his back. Jake Richardson. Pretty stiff breeze, by the way.
Talk a lot about Ryan Robinson. You got to be worried about Chris Garrett as well.
Chris Garrett. Oh, that was almost blocked. Garrett fields it at the 25, dodges the first tackler, looking for that wall. He's trying to get there, and he gets out to the 33, maybe the 34.
He had an 88-yard punt return versus Western Michigan for a touchdown. It was exciting.
All right, watch this one by a whisker. Jake Richardson just gets it off. Oh, that was close. Miami of Ohio University on the banks of the Miami River, a proud heritage. Paul Brown, Era Parsegian, all members of the cradle of coaches. Look at that picture of Woody Hayes. Before glasses, the late Randy Walker and the late Bo Schembechler. And that mural in the end zone. Ah, man, that's tradition. That's beautiful. It really is. And it sends goosebumps up, chills up my spine. Every time I go through that and see it, it's amazing to think of all the coaches that were here, Charles.
Unbelievable. I mean, you just can't believe how many guys in football history.
And McCray busts a tackle, and he may go the distance. Nobody's going to get him. Great second effort. Calvin McCray.
Said on the last drive he wanted to hear a little rollout, and he did it on that one. Because you know why? The secondary was coming up again, and there was no other levels. The linebackers were all sucked in. Everybody was. He has such great vision. I'm very impressed with his ability to find an opening and then just attack it.
66 yards. Calvin McCray, the junior from Decatur, Georgia, has quietly put together a marvelous game. He now has 158 yards and 2 touchdowns.
He just finds those openings and attacks them.
7th game in a row. He's gone over the century mark on the ground. They'll go for 2 after that missed extra point earlier. Bauer. Uh-oh. We had people moving every which way, and a flag's down.
It appeared like it was against the defense. Set Painter, maybe. And then Bauer, what you're taught as a quarterback is to snap the ball, you freeze them, and then you get them offside and go.
Dead ball, offside by contact on the defense. Number 92, half the distance, still a try.
Homer Smith, that was our offensive coordinator at UCLA, loved this play. Watch, you're going to get them offsides, and then you snap it quick. And that way they're in the neutral zone, they're across, they've touched you, and you get 5 yards in the field of play. Here it's half the distance to the goal line.
So it's on the 1.5-yard line. There's the big fullback, Morcillo, lined up behind Bauer. And Calvin McCray. The pitch back to McCray behind his fullback. Bullet his way in. keeping the legs going. He's looking for the signal, and he gets it. There's the two-point conversion, making it 24-17. And that's just desire right there.
Exactly. That's his versatility, the power game, because he's not a very tall guy, but he's very well put together. And when he has that last, how many times have we seen him finish runs?
It's been impressive. Let's check in with Mike Gleason, Steve Israel in the studio, guys. Wow, shocker. That's happened a lot early this year.
Doug, I'll tell you why A&M is better this year. Gary Darnell, who used to be the coach up at Western Michigan, was a defensive coordinator at Texas in the past, became a head coach, and now he's a defensive coordinator at Texas A&M. That A&M defense is much better because of what he's done there. He talked about them having to win this year, and they've really struggled against Texas the last few years.
Matt Lasher into the wind and a short kick, fielded at the 6. And great coverage by Ohio. That was Maxwell coming down to make the stop, and check this out.
Look, just all those white jerseys locked up. Matt Coppage gets the key block on the outside. So McCray does a good job of following the tackle. Wherever that hole is supposed to be, he presses that hole, and then at the last possible second hits it. Morcillo and all those other guys, watch the power here. Stays on his feet. Now, he had that earlier, that fourth down play where it was in question. He has good body control and just real strong power in those legs.
So we'll see if Mike Kokel can lead the Red Hawks to a comeback here on senior day, and he bounces it to the outside. That's incomplete.
If you look at Miami, they've been in all these situations, and they say, hey, we've been in close games, but then you ask them, you haven't finished it, and they said that's been the problem. They've been in so many, of the 11 games played so far, 7 have been decided by 7 points or less, including 4 MAC losses by 3 points or less. So it becomes a situation, okay, as a mindset, we don't know how to finish, or our guys just not doing it the way you're coaching them to do it.
Second down for Mike Kokel. 14-2 last 16 games, and of course 6 straight. Bobcats haven't won in this stadium since 1993, and squirting out close to a first down. I think he got it.
Sean McVay. Well, and if he hadn't fallen, he would still be running.
That's why he slapped the turf.
And that's another Miami.
You'll see here, look at the conference losses where they've really struggled. Western Michigan, Ball State, Akron, Northern, Kent State. I mean, all games that they felt they should have won. 4.4 margin loss.
And a lot of these kids are coming back. Kokel will be back. That's why Shane Montgomery's so excited about next year. And he knows the injuries can't be that bad next year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a tough season. Kokel to the outside has Robinson. First down. So here come the Red Hawks down the field.
And when you watch Kokel, the thing that's impressive is he doesn't point fingers at his linemen. He doesn't worry, he just keeps playing. Against Purdue early in the year, they had many chances to win that game, couldn't finish it. And I think that Purdue game, to me, in my mind, and watching their film over the last 6 or 7 games, is what really hurt them. Because when you win those kind of games, they make you have confidence. On the other side, Ohio, they beat Illinois, and they've been on a 6-game winning streak ever since then.
First and 10. Kokel had 4 touchdown passes in that game against Purdue, 355 yards, and he avoids a sack. Scampers out of there. He gets brought down by Tyler Russ. Russ is the leading tackler on the Bobcats defense.
And the Bobcats defense is playing better now too, because they used to be in a 3-4 before Frank Solich got there. But now they've gone to a conventional 4-3 defense. It's easier to recruit big guys to put them up front and then have 3 linebackers as opposed to 4 linebackers, because so many guys now, you know, in football, it's hard to find those good linebackers. Now they have 3 good guys that are all seniors that have been around for a long time, and that's why they play so well on defense.
A team going for their 7th straight win, the Ohio Bobcats. Outside, open again. Tippy-toeing on the sidelines. Again, that's Sean McVay.
This is a good drive by Miami. You can tell it's a good drive because you have Ohio defenders now talking to each other and saying, hey, what's going on? I mean, you know, protection has been outstanding for Kokel today, and he's found open receivers. And this is a good job by McVay of keeping the feet in bounds and making the catch. But Parsons is there. They're taking advantage of what the defense is giving them. They're letting them make catches in front, and then they're doing their job of catching the football. Miami receivers are.
Another first down. Here you see what they've done today as far as yards allowed. Kokel faking the screen, going deep. Overshoots Jake O'Connell. O'Connell big at 6'4", but he would have had to be a speed merchant to catch up with that one.
That's usually a play where you see Dustin Woods going down that side on the pump and go. They had Ryan Robinson work inside, and then O'Connell come around the backside, but good coverage by Ohio.
Brings up second down, and then Kokel's numbers. Modest numbers yardage-wise, but he's been solid. Hasn't turned the ball over.
This is a big play for Miami, I think, in this drive. 2nd and 10. They have to get some yardage so to make it a short third down or pick up the first down here.
Here comes the blitz. Got it out of there. Looking for Robinson. 5-yard pickup. Mark Parson on the coverage. That's the end of the third quarter. And it's been a fun game so far. And I dare say it's not over yet. Lots of hard hits, a lot of passion. These two schools from the MAC, the Bobcats and the Red Hawks, they want it badly on this happy Maxgiving Friday. Welcome back to Maxgiving College Football, presented by the Home Depot here on ESPNU. The Bobcats, one of the great turnaround stories in all of college football this season, leading Miami of Ohio 24-17, but the Red Hawks are on the march here as we start the fourth quarter. Doug Bell and Charles Arbuckle. Glad you're along, enjoying this MAC brand of football. It is good football. There's the pitch. Going wide is Brandon Murphy, and he gets tripped up close to the first down. And it'll bring up fourth down. He'll just be short.
You want to watch a big guy move. Watch number 90, Harkey. Look at this hustle. And then great effort play. Has some defenders behind him, Michael Mitchell, and you know Muncie is always around the football. Miami's going to go for it. I think it's a wise move. Put your big jumbo package in and just challenge it. What do you have to lose?
Hey, when you're 2-9, and this is it. This is the last game of the year. You got 11 seniors. Yep, you got to go for it at this stage of the game. Kokel, a big 210-pounder. Will he keep it himself? Yeah, he's going to keep it himself, and he's going to go in for the touchdown. Mike Kokel. Crowd on their feet.
I like the call for a number of reasons. They spread them out. They put them in an even front because they had 2 tight ends and 2 receivers, 1 back. And they run the option into the boundary. And there's an open hole. Watch this. There's great blocking. And Kokel makes one guy miss. And you see Matt Muncie overruns the play. He's a middle linebacker. He's got to be the key to come downhill. He's not there because Kokel's ability to go inside and then find that open hole. They were so worried about the quarterback sneak that it was a great call to go outside just a little bit.
Trevor Cook on for the extra point, which will tie this one up at 24. Good snap, good kick, and with 14:05 to play fourth quarter, we're all tied up. Check out Mike Kokel. Great footwork, great speed. Oh yeah, we're tied in Oxford, Ohio.
Now, the defense sells out. If the offensive guy can get by that first wave, he's gone.
And again, a short kick as they've shifted ends. The wind is definitely at the back. Oh, my. His own player nearly took him out. I mean, there were bodies flying everywhere. Irvin Jackson.
Wow. Talk about Scott Mayo, not friendly fire. Irvin Jackson is selling out, but Mayo stays on his feet. I talked about it earlier. When he got to Ohio, wasn't a very big guy, real fast, but look at his strength and power. Wow. You know, your defensive backs are usually the guys that when a pile is around, you want to move away, even in return game, because they don't know but one speed, and that's just full speed. Steve Israel would attest to that.
Brad Bauer back in there, quarterback, play action fake. Looking deep. Does he have a man? No. Oh, it was almost deflected right to his receiver. Thad Turner was out there, but I don't think he was open.
I like that play call, though, because they're using the wind, and they're really attacking this Miami defense. They did it at the end of the half, the first half, and now they come right back to it. He wasn't wide open, but he gets the ball right there. It actually hits him in the face. Thad Turner had a chance. Watch this. The ball hits him.
Sure does.
Joey Card hits it just late, hits him on the shoulder, but Brad Bauer is down.
Yeah, he took a pop. And you see Brad's numbers. Through that one interception early, and then the fumble where he was actually in the end zone. It was just like Don Beebe hitting Leon Lett in the Super Bowl. I mean, he was right there, and the ball was stripped from behind.
Well, we will see a quarterback change. Josh Phoebus, redshirt freshman out of Dublin, Ohio, because he's the backup. Austin Everson would come in only in the event that both of the quarterbacks are out.
So Bauer stays down, and Phoebus getting loose on the sidelines.
Looks like they're working on him like cramps of some sort, but you know, I don't want to speculate.
Josh Phoebus, a red shirt sophomore from Dublin, Ohio. And they told him to be ready. I'm not sure he believed he would actually get some playing time today, but he'll come in at least for a play. Although Bauer wobbles a bit off the field. And here comes Phoebus checking that wristband, and Austin Everson is telling him, hey, just hang in there. You got it covered.
You know what they say about him and the write-ups on the coaches? Very strong arm. So Phoebus said, hey, I'm going to air this ball out. We can win this game.
2nd and 10. Third string quarterback in there for Ohio. And he hands off. That's a pretty good play. Calvin McRae. First down, Bobcats.
We haven't called that too much today, have we? You know what I like about McRae? He gets better as the game goes on, too. I mean, he just, you know, he gets into a certain rhythm, and he just feels where everything is going to happen. All great running backs, you ask them, well, do you see guys? They say, no, I just know where people are. I feel where the openings are going to be. And he looks like he's just feeling where those openings are coming.
That was a 10-yard pickup, 179 yards now for Calvin McRae. Stays busy, kind of looking for a hole in there.
You know, if fans will say, well, dancing. No, that's his style.
And here's Austin Everson last week against Akron. And this is the play that he suffered that high ankle sprain, and it just, it just got bent under.
Yeah.
And trainers have told me, Charles, it's almost better to break the ankle as opposed to a high ankle sprain because it recovers quicker.
My senior year at UCLA, I had a high ankle sprain. I had to play with it the whole year, and it never, ever goes away. Even in the offseason when football was over with, you still would tweak it, just walking down the stairs sometimes.
Here comes the reverse, great call. This could go a long way. Chris Garrett cutting back. Garrett dives, and he comes up short. He's brought down at the 1-yard line.
You know who had a great block down the field? Number 7, Josh Phoebus. He goes down the field and takes out Robbie Wilson, who earlier made a great play on Brad Bauer.
Wow. What a great call.
Chris Garrett in open field is deadly. He's a walk-in closet kind of guy. Put him in a closet, small spaces, he gets out of it. And they don't undress him either. And just great speed, great effort at the end also. You think of guys like Eric Metcalf. I'm not comparing Chris Garrett, but that's the kind of ability. You put him in a 4x4 closet, and he's out of there with nobody touched him except at the very end.
Chris Garrett talking it up with his teammates, 59 yards from the 1. Phoebus will keep it himself, and he gets there. Touchdown, Ohio.
He is excited. Look, the fan, that's what you talk about. His sideline, his teammates are so excited for him.
Josh Phoebus, hey, he's been doing it all season, right? Not really.
On the scout team. He's been running that scout team now. and they know what his ability is. I told you, very strong arm. We didn't get a chance to really see that much, but hey, he got a chance to get on the stat sheet.
Matt Lasher, with the wind at his back, has already missed one extra point. He's been shaky at times in the kicking department. Boots that one through, so it's 31-24. Hey, check out this. This was just a great play call. Phoebus, Garrett on the reverse, and then reversing his field. Turning on the Jets. He's in 5th gear. Ohio leads 31-24. And we have had a fun Maxgiving Friday. Charles and I flew in yesterday on Thanksgiving, and I must say, look at that scoring drive, 5 plays, 73 yards. Not a lot of people traveling late in the afternoon on a Thanksgiving day. Airport was a ghost town, but the people here have been terrific. And look at all the Ohio people who made the trek. We're watching some good football today. The wind at the back of Matt Lasher, and that almost goes through the end zone. So the Red Hawks will start from the 20. Mike Kokel has gone the distance. The sun is going behind the press box now, so the temperature's starting to drop a little, but it's still very nice. And those Ohio fans, they haven't had much to cheer about over the last decade in football, except for this season. Next week, they'll be going to Ford Field for the MAC championship and then on to a bowl game. That's big-time stuff.
That is. They are really looking forward to that, and I think this team has played very well this year.
We'll see if Mike Kokel can bring the Red Hawks back one more time. Lots of time. Up the middle. Positive gain. Speaking of the Bobcats, and that turnaround before Frank Solich came, I mean, it was tough times. And then Solich's first year, 4-7, but you saw him making a turn. Team was getting stronger. Definitely the way he plays the game, that disciplined style, running the football, was successful.
Ended up beating Pitt on national TV, so it gave him an opportunity to see what success looked like. Just couldn't put it together consistently, but this year really improved in this 6-game winning streak.
And Kokel dancing around out there. He's avoided the sack, showed some quick feet, first down, getting up to the 42, and I've been impressed by Mike Kokel.
Wow.
that was pretty nifty.
There was a shot on the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
Two defenders run into each other. T.J. Wright. And I think at the very end, you're going to see he and Ernie Hodge collide. The thing that Ohio hasn't done a very good job, even when they come on blitzes, they've been so late and haven't gotten there. Now watch T.J. Wright 3 and 95 Hodge. They collide. And I think Hodge is still down. Ernie Hodge, watch, he's going to get hit by T.J. Wright, who's gotten pushed back by Dustin Woods.
Now Hodge is still down as they attend to him on the sidelines. Got hit at a funny angle going full speed. And they are checking him out.
Looks like they tried to disguise their blitzes so much that they haven't allowed themselves a chance, even when it's come from the back, the secondary. They haven't gotten to the quarterback.
T.J. Wright, he was involved in that collision. He's okay, obviously, and we're just looking for a good sign that Ernie Hodge, a young freshman from Dublin, Virginia, will get up. Frank Solich comes across to make sure everything is okay with the young man that he recruited and signed. One of the first recruits that he signed was Ernie Hodge. And it's not often the coach comes all the way across the other side, so hopefully everything is going to be okay. You see Shane Montgomery talking to the coach, and it appears that he's on his feet. Crowd giving him a nice round of applause, and there he is. That's a good sign. Boy, you breathe a little easier when you see the big guy get up like that.
Yeah.
And walk off on his own.
Just a true freshman also.
Young man who transferred from Hargrave Military Academy and running full speed, just got caught at a bad angle. Saturday, the NCAA Division I football championship begins as Coastal Carolina faces top seed and defending national champion Appalachian State, App State. The NCAA Division I football championship on ESPNU, presented by Enterprise, Saturday, 3:30 Eastern. So Miami of Ohio looks to continue this march. Mike Kokel will be back next season. And I like what not only throwing ability, but boy, he can scramble. There's the blitz. Oh, there's a mistake. Jamison Hartke with the interception. And he's down at the 18.
He's done a lot of basketball, right? Great free throw shooter. Has hit his last 10. Bing!
Yeah.
Well, you know what? He's done a good job, even if that play it does what it does. He has done a good job of getting away from the rush just enough. But right here, I think he panics when he sees Landon Cohen coming into his face. And Hartke has been around the football all game long. Usually you don't see lineman get 2 passes broken up on the year, but he's had that. Now he adds another one to his repertoire, interception.
Yep, his first pick of the season, a sophomore. And you're right, we've called Hartke's name a lot, and 90 has been around the ball all day. And Kokel tries to shake that one off and needs a stop from the defense. That's McCray working the left side down inside the 10. And let's check in with Mike Gleason, and is in the studio, guys.
Also, Clayton Mullins on the stop. Pick up a 9-yard, second down and 1.
All right, Bo Pelini, the defensive coordinator for LSU, and of course he has a connection here with Ohio U as McCray goes the right side and runs into a bunch of red jerseys. I mean, when you think Pelini, Charles, you think defense, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, absolutely. Bo, of course, is the man who was the head coach for Nebraska in that Alamo Bowl after Frank Solich was let go, and then when Solich took the Ohio job, he brought Bo's brother in.
Carl Pelini, who's the defensive line coach. We talked a lot about these young guys on the defensive line. There he is right there. Jamison Harkin, Landon Cohen, Shane Yates, and Ernie Hodge. They have been tutored by Carl Pelini very well.
3rd and short. Trying to draw him off, and then McCray, he gets stopped short. Carl Pelini looks a lot like his brother Bo. Has that Nebraska connection. And really, you know, their line play, as we saw there in the interception, it's improved dramatically.
It really has. And like I said, they're going to the 4-3 look. They're getting those bigger guys, or they come in not as big, but give them a chance to grow into their frames and make players out of them. Now, this is an interesting point right here. Will Lasher have the confidence on this end?
27-yard field goal attempt from Matt Lasher. And he connects. That makes it 34-24, a 10-point cushion after the interception. And Frank Solich hasn't cracked a smile. I thought maybe he cracked one when Josh Phoebus ran it in, but I don't know. I don't think the coach smiles too much, does he?
Well, he's learned from his mentor, Tom Osborne, who didn't smile too much on that sideline either.
You know, yeah, I remember back to the GMAC Bowl 3 years ago, and there he is, Big Ben Roethlisberger, down in Mobile. That's Coach Gottfried's game, and he was excited to have Big Ben against Louisville. All he did was throw for 376 yards and 4 touchdowns in his final game. After that game, he announced that he was turning pro, leaving a year early. And all he did with the Steelers last year was lead them to a Super Bowl win.
Well, he's very closely tied to the Miami University program still. He and Shane Montgomery spent time talking. You see his jerseys all over the place here. And Terry Hepner was his coach, and they're still close even though he's at IU. So Ben has a lot of backers here.
Ben Roethlisberger, those are his career numbers. I mean, he was just outstanding. 84 touchdowns, all school records. And Charles, I remember when I was doing a radio show back in Alabama, we were excited about Ben coming down to Mobile to play in the bowl game. And Ben calls in the radio show as a guest, walking to class. It was terrific.
I used to love talking to him before games because he was so relaxed and just such a good guy to talk to about football, always thinking of how he could get better.
And he is getting better now after he's overcome the motorcycle accident, the appendectomy. It's been a tough season. And Kokel completes a pass to Jake O'Connell. There's still time, lots of time. They'll be passing virtually every down now. It's 2nd and 5, down by 10.
Pick up a 5 yards, 2nd down and 5.
Shane Montgomery, the man who tutored Ben Roethlisberger, and he says he stays in touch with Big Ben. Obviously, he's busy, and the coach is right now, but they'll get together in the offseason. 2nd down, Kokel. Going through his progressions there. You saw him look right in the middle and then out to the left to Brandon Murphy.
Doug, the one thing is, though, they have to score here pretty quickly because if you give the ball back to Ohio, you know they're going to run and try to use the clock, get a 1st down or 2, and really shorten this game. So Miami has to be in a hurry-up mode. That's the thing that surprised me in the 3rd quarter. They didn't challenge with Dustin Woods. I know they're worried about Ohio bringing pressure, but they've had some chances to go deep.
Kokel now looks comfortable from the gun, as he looks all across the field there. With time, firing to the outside, there's Robinson stepping out of bounds up to the 47.
Pass is complete to Ryan Robinson.
Ryan Robinson's final game
And that's
in a Miami uniform.
Doesn't seem like he's going to get anywhere near that punt return record, but in the passing game, he's another guy that you would think tried deep.
He's been busy, has 8 catches today, 91 for the season. I mean, that's a lot of productivity for a wide receiver. 1st and 10. The blitz, they pick it up, at least initially. And then Kokel goes down, the 1st sack. Matt Muncy on the pressure. Let's check in with Mike Gleason in the studio.
Landon Cohen on stop for Ohio. Second down, 15.
All right, Coach Fran trying to hang on. This would be huge for him because he was under fire at the start of this season, and they've lost some close ones. Kokel goes down again. There's Matt Muncy. Muncy has been rock solid today. He reminds Coach Solich of Barrett Ruud, who used to play in Nebraska for him, now with the Tampa Bay Bucks. And he'll get a shot at the NFL, don't you think?
Well, what he's done here has been, watch this adjustment. Now, he's going under control. Mike Kokel has made so many people miss. Watch how he gathers, and then he wraps. Most guys just try to hit you with the shoulder. But Matt Muncy, this is what they like about him, his ability to bring people down. Now, Kokel has been getting away from guys all game. That time, the Ohio defense has gotten 2 sacks in a row.
So 3rd down and 25. Here comes the blitz again, and Kokel will go down again. Jamison Hartke was there.
Let's give Jimmy Burrow a lot of credit, too, the defensive coordinator, because in this drive, they finally figured out how they can attack. They send one guy and see 72, Steve Meister goes off. He has Muncy, and he goes away to one guy. They're blocking 2-on-1, and then you have that delayed blitz, which has not been getting to him. And then the last 3 times they're going to go for it here.
4th and 27. This is going to be tough. I question this. I'd almost punt and hope for a turnover. I think your chances are better that way than this at 4th and 27, but they'll give it a shot. And they are blitzing. They're not easing up. Kokel gets hit from behind. The ball squirts free, and that's an incomplete pass. His arm was going forward. So Ohio will take over on downs, and Kokel gets up slowly.
Jamison Hartke with the pressure. That last series right there showed why Ohio has done as well as they have this year. That was a great job of making adjustments. They hadn't gotten to the quarterback all game and hit him on every single play. Now watch Harkey coming from the left side of your screen. And it happens because you have an end going against Jake O'Connell, the tight end, and that's not a matchup that you want to have. Harkey can beat tackles, and then great job there by sportsmanship by Landon Cohen of going over.
Josh Phoebus, no, actually that's Bauer back in there, quarterback now. And the option, keeps it himself. Gets tackled by Craig Mester. And I will be shocked if Ohio does anything but run, and run out the clock.
Well, you have a quarterback battle on your hands now. Brad Bauer and Josh Phoebus, very similar sized guys, with Austin Everson moving on after this year. They're the two guys next year that are going to really fight it out for the starting quarterback position.
Yeah, Phoebus, a redshirt freshman. Bauer is a junior. And there you see Phoebus. Boy, he likes that kind of duty, huh? Getting in there, scoring a touchdown, getting the accolades lifted up by the teammates. 2nd and 9. Bauer goes forward, gets wrapped up immediately. And a timeout called by Miami.
Timeout, Miami.
They'll stop the clock with 3:20. Bauer goes to the sidelines. And we'll be back to wrap this one up in Oxford, Ohio. And now we'll lose to Texas A&M to go 9-3, 6-2 in the Big 12. And I just can't emphasize how big that is for Coach Franchione, who is certainly taking it on the chin here the last few years. That's the 3rd down pass play underneath. That'll bring up 4th down. And we'll see if they just run clock or bring the field goal team on. I doubt they'll do that. And a timeout called by Frank Solich and the Bobcats, who are headed to the MAC championship game. 9-3, and at one point this season, Charles, they lost 3 in a row. Granted, it was Rutgers and Missouri and Bowling Green. But they've put it together. I mean, they lost 3 in a row. Now they've won 7 in a row.
Yeah, they really have, and they found a way to do this in a part of the season where it could really have turned on them.
Hey, Max Giving continues later today. Western Michigan takes on Akron from the Rubber Bowl in Akron. College football rivalry week presented by Remington on ESPNU Friday, 3:30 Eastern. That's coming up. Looking forward to watching that as you look at the MAC standings. Ohio will now go to 7-1, 9-3. And Central Michigan last week undefeated when we saw them play in DeKalb against Northern Illinois, and they got stunned. Northern Illinois came out at 2-minute offense early and just put them back on their heels.
Well, Doug, stranger things have happened. Now, Miami called that timeout, and Ohio has to get a 1st down. They're 4th down and long here.
4th and long, there's the pooch kick. And that was a pooch kick. Down to the 9-yard line. We'll check the length on that punt. I think that was about a 17-yard punt with no return. Wasn't pretty, but it was effective, I guess. I think I might have gone for the field goal. He was bragging on his kicker.
Yeah, well, I think they're so concerned with Lasher or a block in that situation. Have a 10-point lead now. Miami still has a quick strike offense. The problem for them has been their offensive line. They held up pretty well up until that last drive.
And a late arriving crowd for Ohio. The defensive line got out there late. Kokel still scrambling around. Busts a tackle, gets a 1st down.
Mike Kokel, the ball carrier.
I think Ohio has taken the approach that the game is over. They better tighten up because anything can happen. You score a touchdown, the clock stops until they set it, so they do have time and a timeout.
Kokel really had it going until he threw that interception. Looking for Robinson, and there's a flag down. T.J. Wright was all over him.
Ryan Robinson still made that catch. Wow.
There's a flag on play.
Those two have been matched up all game.
T.J. Wright was latched onto him. He knew exactly what kind of gum he was chewing. He was that close to him.
He knew the cologne he was wearing.
Interference on the defense. Spot foul, automatic first down.
So an automatic first down, they'll take that penalty. And you're right, if they score quick. Onside kick, who knows?
TJ is from my birthplace, Beaumont, Texas. He actually went to Ozan High School, which used to be Old Hebert, right around the corner from my grandmother's house.
Here comes the blitz. Coco took a hit just as he let it go, and he'll peel himself off the turf. It was the old coaching staff at Ohio who recruited a lot of Texas kids, and we were talking to the staff. They're now really focusing more on Ohio and surrounding states here.
But what happens is, you know, you can see the Georgia connection. Whenever kids go to the school, they go back home and they say, hey, I'm having a great time here, and that opens the door. But in Ohio, you have such a fertile ground. In the past, Ohio used to be behind everybody else, but now they've gotten some leeway with a guy like Frank Solich. Also, his Nebraska ties, wherever he's recruited before. Nebraska recruited Texas a lot, and they also are looking at Florida. They're able to go different places now.
Coco over the middle. That's a first down. Fumble. Ohio picks up the loose football. Dustin Woods got stripped. T.J. Wright was right there to pick up the loose one.
And you know, we had been talking about Dustin Woods all game getting an opportunity, but T.J. Wright aggressive and jumping routes, but he also goes after the football fervently. And watch here, he's covering, and look, he's going to just pull it away. This is a great effort play. We saw it earlier. Wow. We saw that by Robbie Wilson from Miami, and now T.J. Wright does a little tomahawk of his own. Dustin Woods had both hands on. That just goes to show how strong the defensive backs have gotten. I mean, he just takes it away from him.
You see time ticking away. Bauer back in there, quarterback. And a positive game by Mockery Owens. Owens first carry, a senior from Taylorsville, Mississippi.
He holds the, him and Scott Mail will have a foot race contest because they say Valkyrie Owens is the fastest guy, 4.4 electronically time.
And Frank Solich, 6 straight losses to the Red Hawks, and that will no longer be the case.
Doug, you haven't been in the locker room when two guys think they're the fastest guys.
I bet there's some talking going on, huh?
It won't stop. It'll go on, and until whoever wins, you will never hear the end of it if they race.
Yeah, when they race, too, whoever the loser is will have a little bad hammy.
Well, no, it comes down to I'll beat you in some flip-flops. Yeah, we can go out to the field right now. I'll run in flip-flops, and you run in your socks, and I'll beat you. I mean, they come up with all kind of ways. I'll go get spatted up and run in flip-flops with leg warmers on. I mean, they just come up with all kind of things. You know, the fast guys, they always say stupid stuff like that.
Hey, look at the guy with the telephone right in the middle. He's calling home. We've done it. We've beaten these guys, finally. 6 years of frustration is over. He sees himself on the scoreboard. He's phoning home. This was a big one for the Bobcats. And they'll go to one knee, and that's it. The Bobcats go into the MAC championship game, their first 9-win season since 1968. First win on this field since 1993. 6 years of frustration is over now. All smiles for the men in green. Once again, our final score, Ohio 34 and Miami 24. Max Giving continues. Coming up next, it's Western Michigan taking on Akron. But first, it's Sports Center U, and for more information, log on to ESPNU.com. We are college sports. For my partner, Charles Arbuckle, our entire crew. Hey, he smiled. The coach is smiling. Hey, take a picture of that. It does not happen too often. I'm Doug Bell saying so long from Oxford, Ohio, where the Bobcats are the winners.